Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Hello, Russell.
Hello, Joseph.
Good to see you, my friend.
How are you, Pally?
I'm fucking great.
So,
Better now that you're here.
I know. I called you and I said, Joe, I really want to do your podcast again. You said, sure.
Anytime, buddy.
I know. It was great. I was very happy. I thought you were going to be like, oh, man, you know, I got so many people out here.
Come on, Russell. You and I go back, my friend.
I know,
I tell everybody I wear the watch you gave me every special, and I have since 2014.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that detail. That's an interesting detail.
You gave me a watch once. It was the most ridiculously generous thing ever. I was looking at your watch. I go, that's a nice watch. You go, you want it? And you took it off and gave it to me. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I've worn it every special I've
tried that with you. I was like, Joe, that's a really nice Porsche. Yeah, it is. And you walked away.
Oh, it's a ploy. I see how it works.
Well, it never worked. So I took your advice and I started my podcast.
I heard.
Yes.
Well, how many have you done so far?
I think I've done maybe 8 or 9, maybe.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it?
I'm having a good time with it, you know.
Why'd you wait so long?
I don't know. I really don't. It really wasn't until your prompting that I started to look into it. And then you said you'd be my first guest, but I was like, let me get some people under my belt first.
Get rolling.
Yeah, let me get
comfortable.
rolling. Yeah, that's like, you know, becoming a white belt and go, hey, let me roll with you. You're like, no, don't do that.
Do you have a studio at your house? Like, where do you have your studio?
It's no studio. I just do it in my backyard.
Oh, nice.
Like I have like a little porch area with a humidor, and then we sit around like this. We smoke cigars. We have some drinks. And
I like outdoor podcasts.
Yeah.
Anthony Cumia used to do his in his backyard.
That was by force, not by choice.
Well, when he left New York, when he left Opie and Anthony.
When he went back to Long Island and built his little
the compound.
His compound.
Yeah. But he used to do it just like sitting out by the pool.
Yeah, the pool's right there, and you know you'll hear planes go by and stuff. It's nice, but it's like this. It's just conversation.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out. I took a page out of your book. I was like, people were like, well, what's it going to be about? I go, I just want you to hear me and my friends hanging out and talking. I want, you know, a little fly on the wall business there.
Yeah, that's all it needs to be. This idea that it needs to be something very specific. Like, what are you going to talk about? Like, you need an angle.
Yeah.
You need a hook.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no, like, I go, I'm going to have a tough time fucking sticking to that script.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Some people do. Like, Ari has a theme for most of his podcasts.
Ari's a very thematic guy.
Yeah.
Even when he came up with the TV shows, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He would always have a theme. And when he would have those shows at the store, okay, we're going to do this night. Do you have a blah, blah, blah story for that? And I'm like, you know, which is good. It challenges the guest a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but...
Well, that's how he came up with his show. He came up with the idea for his show when he was just trying to figure out ways to work on bits that are storytelling form. So he said, you know what I'll do? I'll just do a whole storytelling show where you don't do your act, you just tell a story.
Right.
And then he set it up in the lab, the old lab before it became that weird lab in the Improv.
Oh, yeah, on Melrose there.
Yeah. And then he started doing it there. And then next thing you know, it was a fucking Comedy Central show.
I know. I did a couple of those. This
Is Not Happening.
I did This Is Not Happening, but then he had the other ones that he would do live before he was recording them.
Yeah, what did he call those? Were those called This Is Not Happening as well?
No. I think one variation of it was, but the earlier ones were some sort of like road stories or whatever.
I can't even remember why he stopped doing the show now.
I think it was because that little episode happened with when who died?
No, it was before that.
Was it before that?
Yeah.
Somebody else died. I think they canceled him basically, and then they replaced him with somebody else.
I'm trying to remember what it was. God, I can't remember.
They fuck with Ari a lot.
Well, Ari's a wild man.
Ari's a wild man, but if you know him,
legit wild. He's a beautiful person.
That's
I
what
love
I mean.
him to death.
If you know him, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy. I love him. I love him to death. But he's a wild man. But that's why he's a great comic. He's wild, you know? There's a lot of great comics that are wild. We just got to be more forgiving with those people. They don't mean to be bad.
Yeah, you got to understand people is what it is. You got to understand. Like I always say, it's about the intent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's not what they're saying. Oh, look at the intent. Look at See if there's something, if they're actually being diabolical, or if
Right.
they're just not thinking.
Yeah, well, it's like a lot of impulsiveness involved in some folks in our business, and sometimes they think it's a good idea, and you want to call them up, right before they do it and catch them. But usually you don't.
Yeah.
It goes out, and then you go, hey, no.
It's like a social media post, In the moment, you're like, this is what I'm fucking feeling, and I'm going to put this out there. And I've been guilty of it, and I've stopped myself from it too at the same time,
Yeah. There's a lot of comics that, like, social media is not a healthy thing for them. It's just too much of a minefield, It's too fraught with peril.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm always careful about what I'm posting. Like I have this company that cuts my bits together for me and subtitles them, and then they'll send it to me. I don't know what they're going to send me because it's always like crowd work stuff that they're sending because I don't want to burn material.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck, that's funny, but I know that this one line in there is going to cause a fucking shitstorm of people to be like, what's wrong with you? You can't. And I'm like, you're missing the fucking point, pal.
Dude, I watched Step Brothers the other day. You could not make that movie today. You could not make it, and it was so good.
You can't make a lot of things that we made 5 years ago today.
Can you imagine if they tried to make Step Brothers today? But by the way, here's a question. When was the last time you saw a really good, funny movie, like a recent funny movie?
We have not.
They don't exist.
It's hard because they're trying to incorporate too much.
Well, you're trying to be woke.
Yeah.
You're trying to apply these rules that are created by these people that just want to kind of control people's ability to express themselves.
Well, they want you to show this world that matches their imaginary world. You're like, but that's not my world.
Not only that, it's like, come on, man. Do you really get offended when you watch Step Brothers? Does that offend you?
If you got offended by Step Brothers, you've got issues. That's why I feel like the people that are getting offended have their own things that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And they just need somebody to blame.
Well, they're just deciding what people can and can't say and don't, whatever they think is non-acceptable now in this new world of just calling out everybody for everything.
I think about my act when I started like 32 years ago, and I'm like, holy shit. Jesus. What the fuck was wrong with me?
So many problems.
Oh
so
my
problematic.
God.
Hey, did you watch the Canelo fight this weekend?
I was working.
You didn't see it at all?
I saw the highlights.
Jesus
He broke
Christ.
his face.
Bro, he hits so hard.
Broke that orbital bone.
He's one of those guys that, like, some guys just have power, right? But he works on it all the time.
That's what I say. He's the most, in every fight, he's the most improved fighter. He always goes back and fixes anything he saw wrong.
Yep. Well, the Danny Jacobs fight, remember his head movement?
Yep.
It
gave Danny problems.
We give anybody problems, but it was also like he was showing his head movement in that fight.
Yeah, because they used to say he just walked right in and then he fixed it. And there was
My
a video
God, did he fix it.
There's a video of Deontay Wilder. Yesterday I saw it, and he's looking really good. Malik Scott King is training him now.
What is he doing with him?
Oh, he looks like a completely different fighter. I think if you could find that.
Oh, is he like using a lot of jabs? Is it that video?
And planting his feet, and he looks like a boxer now. He doesn't look like a wild man just leaping off his feet and throwing these wild punches. He looks, and I'm excited to see him fight now because he looked really sharp, looked like a real boxer now.
Don't you think he needs a few fights like that with lower tier competition?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Sitting on him, bam.
The jab is very important,
Yeah,
but
jab.
he's going to need some tune-up fights, don't you think?
He should definitely have just to see how that style works in the ring. But he's moving. You see the way he's moving? He never moved like that before.
But again, he's a guy that has fucking preposterous power.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Power's so weird,
It is because he's so thin. You're like, where's it coming from?
Well, Tommy Hearns.
Yeah, well, Tommy.
Tommy Hearns he knocked Roberto Duran out cold, the only guy ever.
Yeah. Second round.
There's just guys that just have preposterous power, and Canelo is a guy that has power but is constantly working on it. There's a great clip of him working with Andy Ruiz. And they're, that shield, that weird hand shield that they hold up?
When you hold.
Which for hooks.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is not for speed. This is just power. Just power. He's like, don't try to be fast with this. Just power. And you see him just, hey, boom, hey, boom. Yeah. Everything is. And so in that fight with Billy Joe, and Billy Joe kept doing that same lean over and over. Like after he would punch, he would lean out of the way. And he just timed it perfectly with that uppercut.
Yep.
and threw everything in it.
Yeah, that's the thing. He really watches you in a fight. He's
Oh,
not
my
like
God.
some knucklehead who knows
Right.
how to. He really pays it. He's very
Yes.
aware. And to me, I was never a Canelo guy before, but after the past 5 fights, I was like, you know what? If I'm not a Canelo fan now, I'm a fucking hater.
Yeah.
But I am a fan now because I really appreciate his work ethic. You know, the way he fucking look at it.
Yeah,
Pah!
this. See, it's about power. Yeah, see, this is the thing they're working on. They just, and he'll do that over and over and over again. So he's a guy who already had big power, but he's constantly working and developing that power. So like in
See,
a fight like the
yeah.
Saunders fight, there was massive consequences to anything that Saunders did. Did you see? How about that fucking?
I watched that
the Chris
fight.
Arreola fight.
Yeah,
and Ruiz.
I
Chris
think-
Arreola cracked him.
He did it a few times. He had him on Queer Street a
couple
of times.
times, yeah.
Are you allowed to say Queer Street
Yes,
anymore?
you can stay. It's an odd street.
It is an odd
Well,
street.
queer is not even, it's not derogatory. Like, queer is a distinction. Like, it's a part of LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Queer, it's okay. Which is interesting, right? Because queer used to be derogatory.
My dad used to use that as a derogatory term to me. I'd wear,
Yeah.
like, came on a pink shirt. My God, have you become queer? And I'm like, what?
Your father's accent's amazing.
He would-
Does he really talk like
He
that?
used to talk like that. Have you become queer? And I'm like, what? My dad would use the, like, he was an English major, so he would always pick these words that would make it go, what the fuck? My brother would we all lived in the same house, obviously growing up, and my brother was a bigger guy, and then my dad would be we had breakfast the next morning. My dad would like, Clayton, what time did you come in last night? My brother's like, 2:30, and he's like, I know, I heard you lumbering around like a bloody elephant upstairs.
Bloody.
Lumbering around like a bloody
That's
elephant.
the thing about Canadians. Canadians have adopted some of the vernacular of the Englishman.
Well, my dad grew up in India under British rule, so
But
we're mixed. So
But I knew a girl from Canada, and she used to say she was going to the loo.
oh, she was just trying to be special.
Oh, you think so?
I don't like when people say cheers either. All right, cheers, pal.
You don't like Cheers?
No, when they're saying thank you, oh, cheers, man, thanks.
You're right. Not like Cheers.
Cheers
with
for the
glass.
drink, but hey,
Cheers, mate.
cheers for the cigar. No, motherfucker, thank
yeah.
you.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The term cheers for like a thank you bothers me.
Yeah. Cheers.
Because it's like, are you really going to fucking cheer? Hey,
Right.
Joe, give me a cigar. Hooray!
Well, it's like aloha. It's got a lot of names.
This
a lot of
bothers me.
words.
Unless you're Hawaiian, this bothers me.
Does it?
It bothers the shit out of me.
You better not surf.
I know people that take pictures with me like,
The
and I'm like,
surfers love that shit.
I get it for them and Hawaiians. I get it, but
Surfers.
when like random dudes are like, and I'm like,
Jiu-jitsu guys like that too.
know, it
Shaka.
fucking bothers
Yeah.
me.
Oh, that's where it bothers you. Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Listen, you're a part of the culture now. You got to adopt a lot of jiu-jitsu weirdness.
I know, and I don't say os.
Us. Us.
Yeah, even John Jacques. I asked him about it. He goes, it's stupid. We don't use that.
Well, it's really not a jiu-jitsu thing as much as it was more of a karate thing. Us was a karate thing, but it's like a respect thing.
I remember the kiais.
Oh, kiais when you throw punches. But us is like, you say it like, it's almost like kind of tongue-in-cheek when most guys do it. Us. But they're serious. They're saying respect. It's like saying respect.
See,
Respect.
I don't know how to use it, so I don't bother with it. And I'll use poha because that's
Poha's fine.
You hear that all the time.
Poha's a lot of things. It's cum.
Oh, yeah.
It's nuts.
I believe I mentioned it
It's
on
fuck.
the last time I was on.
Yeah. They all do it. They all say, Brazilians love to say poha. Portuguese from Brazil is such a beautiful language because it's so flowing. It's got like a sing song.
Yeah, but if you hear the Portuguese from Portugal talk, it's
Is it
like
different?
They're very different accent.
Oh, I don't even know what it sounds like over in Portugal.
Yeah, because when I hear the guys in the jiu-jitsu world speaking, and you hear them talking, they're always laughing and making jokes, and they're making jokes and breaking each other's balls, but you know what they're saying? Oh,
I was listening to Henzo. Henzo Gracie has a clip on his Instagram. and
Yesterday
it's-
he posted
yeah,
something in all Portuguese.
all Portuguese.
Yeah.
And I just like hearing it. Play it. Just because Henzo's got like the perfect Portuguese.
Yeah, Henzo
Brazilian
has that
accent.
that pitch he hits with
He's
his
a
voice.
fucking worldwide. I would say national treasure, but he's Brazil's, so he's a worldwide treasure.
Yeah, he's a worldwide treasure
He's-
for sure.
Empreendedor é isso aí. Dá uma olhada aqui na obra de arte dessa academia. Olha aqui.
He's looking at pictures on the wall of like famous jiu-jitsu guys.
Isso quer dizer que era 1978. Aí acontece isso.
That's the famous mats of New
Tem
York
jeito,
City,
vida de trabalhador,
Renzo
de
Gracie
empreendedor,
Academy.
O cara que faz vai dar zebra de vez em quando. Mas eu sou bolsonarista, não adianta, não paro de trabalhar. Isso veio de onde? Isso veio de um cano que
It's a
estourou da minha
beautiful
vizinha de cima. O que a
language.
vizinha
It's
faz?
beautiful.
Ela
It's
tem
when
time
he does it sounds
que
good.
atende Medicaid, que recebe dinheiro do governo. Tá sempre vazio, nunca tem ninguém lá. Eu tenho certeza que ela paga os mendigos para dizer que estão fazendo fisioterapia lá.
I don't know what
He
he said.
sounds like he's just talking shit to you, doesn't it?
He might be.
Because of the look in Henzo's face all the time. He probably is talking
He
shit
might
to you.
be. One of my favorite Henzo stories was Henzo live streamed him beating these dudes' asses who are following him around trying to mug him.
Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
These poor fucks, they decided they were going to mug Henzo. Like, what a fucking... And he, like, took pictures of his knuckles after he
Yeah.
beat their asses. And it was like, what a great day.
That was in New York City, right?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that.
This was pre-pandemic when New York City was slightly more safe. Like, quite a bit more safe, actually. It's pretty sketchy now.
I've trained with Half a couple of times.
Half's a dangerous man.
Oh, man, Half shows me dirty moves.
He's a mean dude.
Yeah, he's a great guy, but he'll be like, okay, show me what you know. And I'm like, I'm scared of you, Half. I'm not smashing you. I'm rolling real light. And he's like, you need to go back to the basics. I'm like, no, I just don't want to I don't want to feel what you're going to do to me if I put my pressure on you.
How often are you training these days?
Not as much as I want to.
What do you want to?
I
How
want
many
to
days
train
a-
3 times a week, 4
What have
times
you been
a week.
doing, like 1 or 2?
Yeah, once. Lately, it's been like once a month.
Are you doing other stuff? Do you have like a personal trainer or anything like
Nah,
that?
I just got my yoga ball and some dumbbells.
Dude, get a personal trainer. Get someone who you're accountable to, so you have to show up. You know,
Right.
like they show up at your house. Like if all you need is a yoga ball and some dumbbells. I mean, you get a good trainer. You don't need a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
Get someone who like makes you do stuff.
Yeah, I just want to jits. I like late. Otherwise, I have no time right now.
Right.
It's like I get my kid. I finally got my kid back. So
There's a lot of people that are rewinding this, going, "Did he say he wants a jizz? What did he say?
I want to pull all over
I
the place.
just want a jizz.
I just want to jizz.
Just want a jits. You just like doing jujits. So you got your kid back?
I got my kid back.
Yeah?
Finally. Well, I get him. I get him. 8 hours a day.
Every day?
Not every day.
A lot of days?
Couple of
That's
times.
good.
Couple of
How
times a
long
week.
were you guys separated?
It goes back and forth. You
You
know,
guys working it out though?
I mean, the courts are working it out, buddy. You know how this system is not a good system, is all I'm saying.
Brother.
I know. I can't blame anybody but myself, so
Hey,
I'll take all accountability on this.
that's good.
You know.
But good to hear you get to see your son.
Yeah, and I'm in a better place than when I was last July when I saw you.
That's good.
Yeah, it was dark then.
Yeah,
it was dark. It was
I
dark for
worried
me.
about you.
It was a little dark time for me.
Yeah, it seemed like it was.
Yeah, you saved me.
How did I save you?
I don't know. You just being you, and then I got a great girl now. you
Oh,
know.
that's good.
She's awesome.
Nice. Look at you.
Yeah, see, things are coming up roses
You're
now.
always lucky. You always
No,
find
this
the
time
right
I really
ones.
got lucky this one.
Yeah?
This time, this chick literally saved my life. I would
Yeah?
say. Oh yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
I love to hear that.
yeah. It's a good thing. I finally, I got your match. You got
Beautiful.
your match. I found my match.
Yeah, you got your match. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of life, man. Finding compatible people, both friends and lovers. Everything
Yeah.
across the board, and even business people. I know a lot of people that they have a bad manager, a bad agent, like if you're lucky, you find all sorts of the right people.
Yeah, I mean, it takes something to happen for you to realize you're in a fucked up place too. you know?
Yeah.
That pandemic kicked my ass. I gotta be honest. That shit kicked my ass.
Well, I mean, out of nowhere, all of a sudden you don't make any money.
Yeah, and then you realize how much you were spending. Mm-hmm. And then your accountant goes, hey, fuckhead,
Yeah.
can't live like that. I go, oh, I mean, I knew I couldn't live like that then, but now I really can't live like that.
Well, lucky for you, you had property, you sold some property,
Yeah.
get your head above water. But it
Just-
would have been
just
nice.
Just tread, buddy.
But it'd been nice if you had that podcast already going, right?
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I've been trying to tell all these comics. Like, listen, I know, like, comics don't like to work. They like to fuck off. But
We're
I'm-
lazy. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah, we're lazy. We're impulsive, And whenever people try to say that I'm disciplined, I always go, listen, I'm the fucking laziest disciplined person you'll ever meet in your life. I get things done, but I don't want to. I mean, it's not like I get up every day and I'm like, yes, here we go.
What time do you wake up?
Early.
And you go to bed late.
Yeah.
So
But
wait.
I get up. I always say goodbye to my kids in the morning. And lately, I've been doing hyperbaric chamber sessions.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't want to talk about it until I know whether or not this is legit.
And
I don't know. I don't know whether or not it's
wasn't
legit.
Michael Jackson doing that at one point?
No, he maybe.
Yeah, before he was doing the propofol, he was doing
that's
hyperbaric
right.
chambers.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. He was. It's supposed to lengthen your telomeres. There's a study out of Israel where they did 60 sessions over 90 days. And one measure of biological health and age is the length of your telomeres.
What are your telomeres?
Your telomeres, I'll butcher it. So there it is.
Oh,
There's
there it
Michael
is.
Jackson.
That's the old school one with a walkie-talkie on it.
Yeah, that's a weird one, right? Because it's all glass.
That's just, what is it, just high oxygen?
It is, yes. Here, well, let's go to telomeres first. Google the term telomeres because I don't want to fuck it up. But it has something to do, I believe, with your mitochondria, and the length of your telomeres indicates it's an indication of health and of biological age. Although the biological age aspect of it is disputed, but people like David Sinclair think it's a good indication of your biological age. He's been on the podcast a couple times before. He's a professor at Harvard, and he studies most of his study is in anti-aging.
Right.
Yeah, but go to telomeres, please.
Oh, that's how you spell telomeres.
Yeah, but I mean, I wanted to know the definition.
I had it all wrong in my head.
just telomeres, just so I could figure out how to say it. Okay, it's the end of a chromosome. Telomeres are made of repetitive sequences of non-coding DNA that protect the chromosomes from damage. Each time a cell divides, the telomere becomes shorter. Eventually, the telomeres become so short that the cell can no longer divide. So this is as you get older, your telomeres become shorter. And now Google telomeres hyperbaric, the thing that you had already. And what this is, for the first time, hyperbaric oxygen therapy proven to reverse biological aging in humans.
Does that look like the ones you're doing?
No, I don't know what these people are doing.
Are you doing chamber?
Yeah, I'm in a fucking metal tube.
Do you have one at the house?
No, but I'm gonna get one.
I know, you're that guy.
Yeah,
You had the, the isolation
sensory
tank.
deprivation. I'm getting one in here. Yeah, we'll have one in here soon.
With salt water?
Yes.
I remember when you had it in your house when I first started doing your podcast like 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Had
you
it in
showed
the
it to
basement.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, people think it's creepy. It's like
Yeah, because it is
it's odd.
it is odd. Yeah.
It looks like a meat locker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
especially
very-
the one that the float tank.
That's the one I'm talking
yeah,
about.
the float lab.
That's the one you had.
The float lab is they make the best ones. They make these fucking like super high-end. Crash down in Venice makes the most overly engineered float tanks. They're so like he uses.
What do they go for?
I don't know. You have to ask him. I'm not sure. It's not cheap.
No, I didn't.
They're like
imagine
20
it.
grand plus.
Oh yeah, no, forget.
But
it.
it's got like ozone to filter out the water from bad bacteria and kill any funk that might be in there. Although the only person who goes in mine is me. You don't have to have one like that though. You can get one that's fairly cheap. The first one I ever got was a Samadhi. I don't even know if they make those anymore. But that was just a few grand. That was like I think it was $3,000 or something like that. But it's much less engineered than these float lab ones. These float lab ones are like super high end.
It's like the Porsche design one.
Yeah, it's like he just goes. He's a mad scientist. Crash is. He's been on the podcast before. He's a wacky cat, but he's the guy who really like float tanks for a long time were a dying thing. No one was using them.
When did you discover it? Because I know you had it 11 years ago when
I first discovered it earlier than that. I discovered it I think in late 90s maybe. I think the first time I did one, and then I got one in like 2002, somewhere around then. 2002,
In your
2003. I got one in my house, and then I had a friend who was servicing my float tank, and he told me about the float lab. He's like, this one is okay. He goes, but it's kind of the way it's made is not the best. He's like, there's a guy in Venice that makes these insanely engineered ones. And he showed me some photos of it. He said, you really be better off getting one of these because you're going to have less problems. Because one of the problems I had was my heating element had burned through my liner. something had shorted out.
Oh wow.
And it burned through the liner, and so it flooded the inside of the tank, and it went through the liner into the base of the tank, and it fucked everything up. And so he had to drain it and fix it and do all this stuff. He's like, this is not the best engineered one. You really need to get like a better one if you want to have the best experience. It was just way better in terms of like sound insulation, and the Float Lab ones are just, they're incredible.
How long do you sit in them for?
I like 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours is what I like.
Well, you're a little extreme. So what's the average?
An
time?
hour. An hour is the average person.
I see you posting those sauna ones too, where you're sitting in the.
Yeah, I like that too.
What are you at now? 100 and.
I like 185, but it really goes up to
Jesus
200.
Christ.
Yeah, it's at 200 though. It's weird. It's like it's the way those things work, saunas. It depends on where you're at. Like if I'm sitting at the top bench, my head is in 200. But if I lay down in the bottom bench, I'm really at like 185. You know, so it's
how long are you sitting in that for now?
25 minutes.
And sweating your ass off.
Sweat my ass off. Yeah, but it's like.
My problem is when I get into a sauna, I get bored as fuck.
Yeah, I listen to books.
See, I'm afraid my phone's going to overheat or whatever I'm listening to.
Don't use your phone. I use AirPods. AirPods don't overheat for whatever reason. I figured this out a long time ago.
So you leave the phone outside.
Yeah. I have AirPods specifically for use in the sauna. Mm-hmm. Because I have like my one that I use when I'm talking on the phone that I never take in the sauna, because the sweat gets into these things and it completely fucks up the microphone. So if I try to call people, they're like, "Where the fuck are you?"
Yeah, sound like you're underwater.
Hey Russell, how are you doing?
It fucks up whatever the microphone is, like the soaking of the sweat.
So these are just for listening.
Yeah, I have one pair that I wear just when I'm inside the sauna, and they don't burn out. So you can listen to books. So I'm listening to this book on Cabeza de Vaca, who's a Spanish. Yeah, he's a Spanish explorer that landed in North America in the 1500s and walked across the country. It's a crazy. You ever want to complain about the weather? You ever want to complain about your life?
Right.
Fucking COVID kicked my ass. Listen to me. Read this fucking book. It's called A Land So Strange. It's amazing. My friend Hank told me about it. He's the security guy at Kill Tony. Mm-hmm. Big giant Native American cat.
Oh, with the hat on?
Yeah, that dude.
I met him last night.
Great guy. Hank told me about this book, and he was raving about it, and boy, was he right. It's amazing.
So are these the stories told from notes he left?
Yes, notes he left, and then him telling a story back home when he eventually got rescued, or made it back to Spain, which I believe happened. I don't know.
Wait, where did he land?
They landed
in modern day.
They landed in Florida.
Okay,
and they made their way across Florida, and then they got to the Gulf of Mexico. They did all this with rafts. They sailed like, I don't know how many fucking miles in rafts, and then they got attacked multiple times by Indians when they would get to shore, and some Indians took care of them, and some Indians attacked them and killed them, and what a fucking harrowing journey, man. I mean, I think I'm on chapter 8 now, and so far they've been at it for 10, I think he's been in America for 10 years at this point, or close to it.
How many people are with
6 years, 7 years? Well, they got down to 4.
Started with?
Spoiler alert, 400. Everybody died except 4 dudes.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy, dude. It is a crazy story. And it also details like what it was like in North America in that time, like the Mayan civilization, the Aztecs, the Native Americans. It's amazing. I love stories about like what it was like hundreds and hundreds of years ago, because if you look at the world in terms of like the hundreds of millions of years of people, or that rather hundreds of millions of years that life has been here on Earth, and then look at the amount of years that people have been here. We've only been here like 300,000 years, 400,000 years, whatever it's been. Then you go like 500 years ago, which is what this is. Mm-hmm. That's nothing. It's nothing. It's a blink of an eye.
Right.
But my God, it's so different in every way.
I mean, you look at 100 years ago and it's so different.
Yeah, it's crazy. But this is really wild, man.
Like our civilization itself has leaps and bounds. Like,
yeah.
It's almost puzzling that we never fucking came across any of this stuff 500 years ago. Like we never thought about doing any of these things.
Well, we didn't have safety. See, this is the thing that humans need to innovate. They need safety.
Right.
They need quiet, and they need like peace. You can't be like fighting off catapults with fucking flaming bodies headed your way like the Mongols were doing, or when you're fighting wars constantly and you're constantly being invaded and you're worried about people raping your women and stealing your food, there's no innovation. You're not going to get anything done. It's like when things get safe.
But they still had like their medicine men, and I'm sure they had like their what would be the tech people of the time that they would, these would be the warriors that would go out and do that, and then they would protect these people to innovate the village or whatever.
There was no innovation. I mean, all the medicine men, like, what were they? They knew some herbs and some plants and some things that were good for you, but for the most part, you're fucked.
Yeah.
If you get sick, you're fucked. If you break your leg, you're fucked. Most of the time, you're fucked. A lot of it was you're fucked.
We went back to being fucked again somehow.
Nah, barely. We barely did. But I mean, the trend of moving towards good things has good aspects and bad aspects, right? And the bad aspects is you could not make a movie like Step Brothers anymore. People are trying to make things so safe.
We evolved to devolve.
Yeah, we got a little crazy.
Yeah, hopefully this all goes away. I have problems with it, I have problems with it.
It'll balance out a little bit.
It will, because there's this really weird balance of being told to be tolerant while the
being
people
intolerant.
yeah, it's a very fucking, I don't understand. Well, you want me to tolerate you, but you're not going to tolerate my adjustment time.
Well, the compassionate people are the biggest bullies online. It's like
it's fake compassion, right?
Well, they think they're doing the right thing. They think they're doing the right thing. They really do. They think they're doing the right thing, and they think they're fighting against oppression and bigotry and all these other things. And in their mind, that's the quest. That's what they're doing. Yeah,
I was walking around Austin yesterday, and there was a ACLU booth in the middle of nowhere on Congress, and it's a black dude standing there, and he sees me and he goes, "Hey, you're that guy," and I go, "Hey, you're that black guy," and there was two white girls with him, and they were like, "Oh my God, did he just call you a black guy?" And I'm like, do you think I'm the fucking guy that broke the news to him? I go, he knows.
Well, not only that, if he knows you, he knows so much of your material is racial.
Well, I just, I when I meet people, I like to talk to them on their level,
Yeah.
I'm not going to come here and say, "Joe, there's this new Rain DJ system." And you're going to be like, okay. You want to talk to people on a level where I want to let them know I recognize this about you, and then we'll go from there.
Well, your comedy is that. Like, your comedy is like pointing out racial differences, but ultimately bringing everybody together through humor.
Right.
If he knows who you are, he knows that's what you do.
Yeah, he smiled.
Because it's always friendly and warm-hearted, and it's playful. It's all playful fun.
Yeah.
But like, I've seen you get yelled at before about this, like online. People get upset at you for your comedy. It's like, come on, man. You don't have to listen. You don't have to watch it. But obviously, the fucking arena's packed. Yeah. People are enjoying this. There's definitely a group of people that don't agree with you. Yeah. They're not wrong.
I always say the people that want to cancel you aren't the people that were ever going to buy a ticket to see you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not really worried about appeasing them when I want to keep my constituents, happy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's, people can just decide that what you do is no longer appropriate. But to you, it was never appropriate to you. You didn't like it in the first place.
There was never a time you were going to enjoy me. And if there was, then you're, it's a fucking odd time.
It's a weird time, Russell, but it's also a weird time for them. It's like they're getting sucked into these ideologies too. They're getting sucked into all this groupthink. And there's so little like real one-on-one interaction when it comes to these kind of ideas and talking about things and what's appropriate, what's not appropriate.
That's what the problem is. There needs to be more conversations happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like if I have questions about, I have a trans friend, and I ask her questions all the time that if you didn't know her and I were friends, you'd be like, "Are you attacking this person?" I'm like, "No, I'm asking fucking questions so I can get some clarity, so I understand the situation better."
Yeah, it's funny that like some things you can make fun of, and it's okay, and everyone knows that you don't mean anything bad by it. You're just making fun. There's certain things you can make fun of.
Well, yeah, when you're friends,
yeah.
You know what I mean. So once you're friends with somebody, you enter this other world of ball breaking.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the person, you're attacking them. I'm like, no,
it's ball breaking.
I would never attack this person. They're my friend.
Well, it's weird too to me that like the Trump administration during the time that Trump was president, it really showed some hypocritical thinking by a lot of people, because one of the things you're never supposed to attack is someone's body. You're not supposed to body shame.
Right.
But what was the thing they always attack? He's got little hands, probably got a little dick. Look at his fucked up hair.
Yeah.
Look how fat he is.
Yeah.
Like, it was all body shaming.
Yeah, remember when the doctor said he's perfectly healthy and was like, no, he's not. Look at him. I'm
Yeah.
like, who are you to fucking tell? You know what I mean?
I didn't believe that doctor either, though.
I didn't believe that doctor either.
That doctor's full of shit. That doctor's like got one eye looking that way. One eye, the fuck are you saying?
The version of him that I saw.
Yeah, like what are you saying? He's perfectly healthy compared to what? Like if he's going to be in the Olympics? Like what are you saying? How could he be perfectly healthy? He's never worked out a day in his life. He's nothing but cheeseburgers and speed, and he's 75 years old. Get the fuck out of here. He's not healthy. He's alive though.
Yeah. Well, you know, same with Joe Biden. You know, when I watch him talk, even I'm like, oh, come on, Joey.
Well, that's the weirdest one when people try to defend that. They try to say there's nothing wrong with them. They've kind of abandoned that now.
Yeah, because it's becoming more and more apparent.
Well, it's worse.
Yeah.
It's the stress of the job is intolerable for anybody. If you got a 35-year-old super healthy person in that job in a year or two, they would be a much more broken down version of themselves. It's just an impossible job.
If you think kids will age you,
right?
Become the president of the United States and watch. Look at Obama. His hair started black. Mm-hmm. He finished it was white.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Bush too. If you look at Bush early in office, then look at him late in office. I mean, it's not a real 4 years or 8 years that he's aging.
Oh yeah.
It's like decades.
I wonder what his telomeres are saying after that.
Short as fuck. I'm short. Dying. Like Trump's dick. Get it?
His little telomere hands.
There's no way. There's no way you could do that job. Nobody could do that job. Everybody gets beaten down.
And everyone's like, if I was, I'm like, go for it, stupid. Go for it. I want to see how long you last.
The thing is, Trump seemed to handle it, ironically, better than anybody that's ever done it. Like, he seemed to age the least amount during that time in office. And he was the most embattled.
It's true. I'll give you that.
It's true. Well, whether you're a supporter or not. And I constantly get accused of being a Trump supporter. I did not vote for him. I'm not a Trump supporter. It's not true.
I know you to be that. So
it's crazy that people keep accusing me of it.
I like when I watch people accuse you of things I know you're not. And I just sit there and I giggle. My favorite is he's a racist. I'm like, oh, he's terrible at it if he is.
I'm a horrible racist.
He's the worst racist I've ever met in my life. You really got to work on this racist thing, Joe.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's there's too many cool people on the other side. You have to ignore so much.
Yeah.
If you really wanted to be a racist, you'd have to ignore so many cool people.
Yeah, I saw a picture of it was a Klan rally, and you know it was all the white power stuff, and the guy was wearing Jordans. I'm like, I'm like, wait a minute, dude. I hate black people, but their goddamn shoes are fantastic.
Oh, it's so dumb. It's the dumbest thing of all time. Being a racist is literally the dumbest thing.
It's see, racism is the one that makes me laugh because I'm like, there's no way you can really like. There may be people in the group that you don't like, and that's everybody. Everybody has that feeling. There's somebody in one race that I didn't like, but that doesn't mean the whole fucking race is tainted to me.
Well, first of all, it's dumb because all of us came out of one place. They think now. This is what they think about human beings. That this is a weird theory too. They're trying to. I'll send you this, Jamie, because it's really strange. They're not even sure if this is like a theory that they're working on now. They think that it's possible that. First of all, they think that monkeys and primates came originally from Asia. Here, I'm sending this to you right now, Jamie. And then we evolved and became humans in Africa. The thing is, they don't know
how
primates got from Asia to Africa. I just sent it to you.
It's a long journey.
But they think they might have fucking floated over. It's a really interesting thing. But my point is, all of us are African. Everyone is African.
Yes.
If you go back to the origins of human beings, everyone is African.
That's where we started walking.
That's everybody.
Yeah.
And then humans branched out. So even the idea of race itself is kind of preposterous. We vary because our ancestors developed in different climates.
Well, one of the arguments from the racist side is that their theory is that white people are more evolved, hence why they look least like monkeys. And I'm like,
It's so dumb.
and I'm like, I don't understand this fucking theory.
Well, it's a dumb theory because it doesn't understand why people became white in the first place. It's because we moved to a shitty climate where there's no fucking sunlight. And so the human skin, when not exposed to sunlight, gets paler and paler in a desperate attempt to soak up vitamin D.
Right, but then you have the Native Americans who were a little swarthy.
Swarthy. What do you mean?
Swarthy, a little darker, you know?
Well, they came from Siberia.
All of them?
Yeah, that's pretty much. They think that. They think it's.
There is a very common look between the two.
Mm-hmm. Well, they
And
think it's also possible that there were some. Because we're dealing with, when you talk about Native Americans, you're dealing with like pre-Ice Age. Obviously, I'm not a historian, so take this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Or a whole bag. But if you're dealing with people that were in North America, like pre-Ice Age and during the Ice Age, they came down the Bering Strait. They think they came across the Bering Land Bridge from Asia, but
the Mongolians.
But there's also some possible evidence that people came on boats as well. They don't really.
They would have to have.
Yeah, they don't know where the Olmecs came from. That's a real weird one. Those are folks that lived somewhere in South America that have African features.
Right.
Yeah, they don't even, and they have these big stone heads that were carved that were like 6,000 plus years old, and they're like, okay, well, where do these guys come from? They don't know. So there's still some pieces to the puzzle that needs to be solved, but a large percentage of Native American civilization came out of Asia. They walked across. They somehow or another made it to North America and spread out. That's the theory.
There's that island off of near India, somewhere between India and Sri Lanka, that has
North Sentinel Island.
That's the one, right?
Yes.
With the black-looking people.
Yes. Well, they were from Africa,
Right.
And
they stayed there.
Yes, they got in boats 60,000 years ago, and they landed in this island, and they can't figure out how to get out. They get stuck because they don't.
And they're still very primitive.
Yes, because they don't have metallurgy. They're not even necessarily sure if they use fire. It's really interesting.
To this day.
Yeah, to this day. They believe, I mean, you're not supposed to visit them because it's like one of the rare, true, uncontacted tribes left on Earth.
Yeah, wasn't that guy that went there and he got killed?
Yes, yeah. I have a whole bit about it.
Yeah,
about the missionary. He went to bring them Bibles.
Yeah, that'll fucking teach you.
Well, it's a poor idea. It's a poor bastard.
I mean, the last thing they need is that. Can you give them fire first, for fuck's sakes?
Well, these people had been fucked with too. There was a man named Commander Maurice Vidal Portman who went, and he was like an explorer / pervert who would travel the seas and find these tribes of people and make them pose and take pictures with them like wearing weird clothes and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he visited that place. He visited a couple other places, and they think that people like that visited, that exploited these folks and fucked with these folks, gave them a very hostile take on intruders. And so when people come, like that guy who came with the Bibles, he probably didn't do his history, didn't read up on what had happened to these folks. He thought it was just going to bring the Bibles. And
yeah, I got the good word, guys.
That poor bastard. He's like, he got killed with a bow and arrow on the beach holding a Bible. I mean, that is a rough way to go.
I mean, at least he was holding his Bible.
Maybe, at least.
It's like St. Dominic, who died with holding I think he was holding a Bible when he got killed or something.
Was he? The weird ones, I shouldn't say the weird ones, the more tragic ones currently are the ones that are in the Amazon because they get murdered by logging companies.
Yes.
And
they're trying to wipe them out so they can get those trees.
Exactly. They find them to be an impediment to their not just trees, whatever natural resources they have that they're trying to exploit in the Amazon, and they find these people slaughtered, and it happens, and and also activists against these people attacking, they wind up getting murdered as well.
Yeah, because they don't know the difference.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like they cause trouble for them. Like
Right.
They're causing trouble for these companies that are trying to exploit the natural resources of these areas.
It's a very interesting time we're living in.
Dude, do you know that, here's what's crazy. Do you know a lot of the Amazon rainforest, which is this fucking insanely dense, incredible rainforest, a lot of it used to be populated, and a lot of the growth there is actually because of humans. A lot of the plants, and the reason why it's so dense is because of the stuff that human beings planted there thousands of years ago.
And now we're trying to get rid of it.
Well, it's not even just that we're trying to get rid of it. They're just starting to understand like the whole ecosystem of that area, like why it's so dense and what caused all this intense like vegetation and brush. And they think it's possible that a lot of it was caused by human beings. See, find out what tree that is that they planted. But there's some insanely prolific tree that they were harvesting and planting in these areas, and it took over. Like, you heard the Lost City of Z? You ever remember that?
The movie, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That movie apparently was based on what would happen when these explorers had originally come there. Supposedly pristine, untouched Amazon rainforest was actually shaped by humans. Over thousands of years, native people played a strong role in molding the ecology of this vast wilderness. So we assume that you see this dense jungle, oh, it's untouched. But it actually, they don't think it was. So here it goes. Described the region of the world in 1991 book, marking the 500th anniversary of Christopher Columbus' voyage to the New World. The native people were transparent in a landscape, living as natural elements in the ecosphere. Their world was a world of barely perceptible human disturbance. But was it really? In a less, how do you say that word? Rhapsodical verse.
That word?
Scholars in the past quarter century have shown that this mythical image of untouched nature is just that, a myth. Like humans everywhere, Native Americans shaped their environments to suit them through burning, pruning, tilling, and other practices, and the Amazon is no different. If you look closer, you see the deep impressions that humans have made on the world's largest tropical rainforest. Scientists reported yesterday in the journal Science. Despite its vastness, the Amazon stretches more than 2 million square miles and an estimated 390 billion trees. This rainforest is hardly the untamable, unstoppable force of nature that the Romantics opined, says Jose Iriarte, an archaeologist at the University of Exeter. In fact, humans have inhabited the Amazon for roughly 13,000 years and have been domesticating plants for at least 8,000. And recent archaeological studies, especially in the last 2 decades, showed that indigenous populations in the past were more numerous, more complex, and had a greater impact on the largest and most biodiverse tropical rainforest in the world than previously thought.
What's the lifespan of those untouched humans?
I don't know, man. Not so good. But hold on a second. Stop right there. Colleagues were taking inventory of the vast diversity of the Amazon trees. They sampled 1,100 scattered plots far from modern human inhabitants to identify more than 16,000 different species among those 390 billion individual plants. Then they noticed something odd. Despite the broad diversity, over half of the total trees were made up of just over 1% of the species. About 20 of these hyper-dominant plants were domesticated species, such as the Brazil nut, the Amazon tree grape, and the ice cream bean tree. That was 5 times the amount researchers expected if chance was the only factor. The hypothesis came up that perhaps people might have domesticated these species, which would have helped their abundance in the Amazon. So they think they had domesticated these species that they use for food, and then these species took over and just dominated the ecosphere.
Like a wild weed.
Yeah, they've also started using something called LiDAR. And LiDAR is something that they use from planes, and they scan the rainforest, and underneath this insane, dense, vast jungle.
The LiDAR can see through?
Yeah.
The bush?
It can see through everything into the ground. And they found these grids that indicate that there were cities there. So all this shit that's incredibly dense and filled with trees now, at one point in time, had complex like roadways and irrigation systems, and they think that the latest theory is that explorers, when they came there, like this Cabeza de Vaca dude and these others that came from Europe, probably gave these people the plague. They probably gave these people diseases, just like they did to 90% of all Native Americans were wiped out by disease brought by European explorers.
By the blankets.
They think that I don't think that's true. I think the blanket part is fake. It's just being around them that kill.
The smallpox.
I think maybe there probably was some people that gave people dirty blankets, but that's not what spread. It was just disease. Just the fact that Europeans were dirty. They came over on boats filled with rats and shit and fucking brought horrible diseases that these Native Americans didn't have any immune system for. Well, they think the same thing probably happened to the Amazon. And so these, like the lost city of Z, they think that these cities really did exist, that they did have these incredible cities. And then when they came back just 20, 30 years later looking for these places, all they found was jungle.
It was overgrown.
Because the people were dead. Because the people died from the plague. And then everything got overgrown like quickly by the jungle.
And then the dead bodies probably fertilized the soil, which...
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
So these are human...
This is
these trees are human trees.
History
basically.
from morons. For your pleasure.
You're welcome, kids.
Yeah. Google all this, though. Read from real sources. But it is interesting because you could see how this could happen. You know, and it really is the world is a wild place, man. And when human beings start doing what Cabeza de Vaca and Cortez did and all these other folks did back in the day where they would travel to these new places, they would bring disease and they would kill off a lot of the people that were there. They think that's what happened to the Mayans too, you know, incredible civilization.
Yeah, they had a
structures.
huge cities, the Mayans.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some of it's still standing, you know.
Oh yeah, man, and still to this day, fucking incredibly gorgeous, beautiful structures they mapped out the cosmos. They like mirrored the cosmos. They mirrored a lot of the constellations. You know. I'm
excited.
About what?
About just learning about all this stuff. You know, I'm all about. You know, I'm not so impressed by the tree, but I want to know who planted that tree. You know, it's a very similar.
People trying to live, man. That's the thing, right? They were just trying to get by, just trying to stay alive.
Then we got to find their writings. That's
the
problem is we find the writings, and we need to find somebody who can translate these writings.
Well, the Mayan writings are weird. They're kind of like a hieroglyph type deal, but I think the way the Mayans writing would work, they would have images that represented sounds. Like you would have someone explained this, I think it might have been McKenna, like the way it would be written. So like you'd have an I, and then you'd have the C, and then you would have an ant like the bug, and then you would have a rose like a flower, and that would be how you say, "I see Aunt Rose."
Yeah, that's exactly how I read that when you said it in my head. And I thought I was being funny in my head. I was like,
no, you're being right. Yeah, I forget what that kind of language is called. There's a very specific, it's a specific kind of language.
It's almost like they were talking emojis.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking Jamie had this idea a while ago.
No, look at you, Jamie.
Jamie was saying, like, we were talking about like sending emojis to go. He goes, do you think that like maybe eventually that will be our language? The like of emojis would be, and we were both. I think we were pretty high at the time.
It's easy could happen.
Possibly.
I can't see you being high, Joe. It's weird.
And we were saying that could eventually evolve to be the next language. Because how many times do your
friends... Is it
an
evolution or is it a devolution? Are we going back to that?
Well, it depends on how well it communicates, right? If it communicates really well, like right now, like if someone sends you like eggplant and then water and then the crying tear face, like that's probably like, it's just funny.
Yeah, I love doing that to people.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's my favorite one. You know,
it's fun.
I try to have whole emoji conversations with people sometimes, just to fuck with them. You know,
you're kind of getting something across. But what if eventually emojis became like a universal language, right? Like
it kind of has been, because you can communicate with people through emoji.
Sure, and people that don't even speak English, you communicate with them with a lot of emojis.
These are all common denominators for everybody.
Yeah, they're not the best way of communicating.
They're not the best, but you know, it's helpful.
Yeah. But one day, maybe they'll have better emojis or another kind of, like maybe some sort of three-dimensional emoji that, like, you know, works with AR, you know, augmented reality. So it gives you like a real inclination of what the person's trying to say without knowing their language.
Yeah, like when I was about to, when my friend texted me before I came here, he was like, hey, good luck on, and he didn't say Rogan, he sent me a gorilla. Good luck on, and I was like, what? I go, what is that? He goes, Rogan, he's a fucking gorilla. I go, yeah, he is a gorilla, yeah.
I'm more of a chimp.
I don't know, I think you're very silverback-ish.
No, you ever seen a full-grown chimp? They resemble me a lot. Like, especially if I lift a lot, if I'm lifting.
You do have
a
those
heavy lifting phase.
Apishly long arms, you know.
Yeah, primitive. Sad. That's why I'm so stupid too.
Yeah, you're clearly not the stupid one in this room.
It's dumb genes.
Me and your security guys were talking, and we're like, we all we were talking about before you got here. We're like, we all think we know something. Then we talk to Joe, and we go, I don't know shit.
Well, it's just me talking to so many people that know a lot and remembering some of it. That's what it is. I mean, you got to think, I'm like 1,700 deep into these fucking conversations with professors and scientists. And
I like when you have Neil on.
Oh, he's coming on soon.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to him.
Yeah. He's a great guy. I had a photographer in my house, and he was a young black kid, and he was taking some pictures of me, and he goes, because he showed me, he was wearing shorts, and I go, who's that on the back of your calf? And he goes, oh, that's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's my idol.
Wow.
So I took a picture of his calf, and I sent it to Neil, and he goes, you need new friends.
That sounds like something he would say. Yeah, he's a
I sent it
trip.
to him. I said, a buddy of mine has you tattooed on his leg, and he goes, you need new friends. That's what he said. I'm worried about your choice in friends.
Guys like him are super important.
Very.
Science communicators that are also like fun. Like he's a fun guy.
Yeah, he gets the message out
Yeah.
in a way that dumb people like myself can understand.
Exactly. And that's what's important. So just to be aware of the beauty of this mystery of this fucking universe that we're floating around in.
And now they said, you see that they, I don't know if it's real, because you never know what the fuck is real on the internet anymore, but they say they found some sort of fungus life on Mars.
Yes, they think. They don't know what it is.
And they
have
said
an
it
image.
blows away overnight or some shit. They were like, it was here yesterday, it's blown away now. It's some sort of fungus that can grow very quickly, and then with a strong wind can go away.
Well, that makes sense.
But then you would
because-
imagine Mars would be covered in fungus.
Not
if it's blowing around
necessarily.
like that.
Not necessarily, because fungus exists here, but we're not covered in it, and it doesn't even blow away, right? Like if
Right.
you go out into a yard after rain, you'll find mushrooms that weren't
Right.
there the day before. They grow really quickly.
You ever
know?
tried those?
No, I don't know enough, and they'll kill you. If you eat the wrong ones.
Right.
Like that mushroom picking business is tricky because you really have to know your stuff. There's mushrooms that have extreme liver toxicity, and they look just like edible mushrooms. They're
Right.
like real close. Like you gotta know. Like I've had Paul Stamets on, and he's explained to me the complex nature of understanding. Like there's some mushrooms, like if you see a morels on the ground, like you ever eaten morel mushrooms?
I have not.
They're really delicious, and they're very rare.
What do they look like?
They look like almost like a hollow pine cone. They're weird looking.
But they're a fungus.
They're a fungus, and they grow quickly, and they grow specifically around areas that have burned.
Oh, yes. I've seen a lot of fungus around burn zones.
Yeah, for some reason, morels they're associated with burn areas. Not all the time, but people go and pick them, and they go morel hunting, and then you eat them, and they're really delicious. You like saute them with butter and garlic salt. Oh, Russell.
What are you tasting, though? You're tasting butter and garlic salt? Or
No, you're tasting. They're a meaty, chewy, delicious mushroom. They're really nice.
And where do you get them?
Well, you got to get them online or hunt them. You got to
Right.
go.
Do you sell
gather
them dried?
Yeah, they sell them dried. Yeah, you can buy them. You buy them on Amazon.
And then they just rehydrate once
Yeah,
you cook them?
you soak them. What I do is I take a like a large pot, fill with water, and I'll add salt to the water, and I'll soak them. And a lot of dirt gets off too, so you strain it and rinse them off, and I'll soak them for a few hours, and then saute them up. They're nice. I'm telling you, that's what they look like when they're cooked.
Oh, I think I've had those. They are quite tasty,
Bro,
actually.
they're delicious. They're so delicious.
Especially when they're a little charred like that.
Yes,
I do
nice.
I'm a texture guy, so I like the crunch.
Me too. Do you enjoy Indian food? Are you an Indian food guy?
I do. I love Indian food.
I fucking love Indian food.
But I have acid reflux, so I got to be careful. I got to plan it when I'm going to eat Indian food.
What causes that?
I don't know. I've had it my whole life.
Yeah?
I've literally had it my whole life. And then I went, a couple of weeks ago, I went and got, I had the old spit roast done to me,
Oh, did they?
the colon endo job. And right before I went under, I told the doctor, I said, put an apple in my mouth, and then I passed out. And then I woke up, and he goes, how was it? I go, it was fine, except for both your hands are on my shoulders.
Now, what do they do for you when you got the acid reflux? Do they prescribe a medication?
Yeah, I'm on a medication. You can also, it's also very, it's not fixable, but it's manageable by what you eat as well. You know, for me, it's mostly about for sleep. If I don't get enough sleep and I decide I want to eat something that I know could trigger me, it'll really trigger me if I haven't slept enough.
Oh,
But
so
if-
like you're tired if you're worn out.
Yeah. But if I've slept enough, I could eat whatever the fuck I want, do whatever I want.
That's the same thing with getting sick. You know, it's amazing how much your immune system sort of regulates everything. And when you're tired, your immune system is weakened. And I know a lot of people that have gotten like really sick where they probably wouldn't have gotten sick because they're run down, like fighters. They're training for big fights. Like a lot of people think, oh, fighters are in great shape. They must be really healthy.
No, especially when they're trying to make weight. When they dehydrate their entire
my
body,
God.
that's insane.
So bad. But even just the training itself, when they're breaking themselves down, a lot of times fighters get sick. A lot of fighters have gotten COVID pretty bad because they were in the middle of fight camp and they didn't stop training. Like Cody Garbrandt, he had COVID, he got sick, and he kept training through it. So he just kept beating his body up. Like they're too tough for their own good.
Yeah, it's your body. You got to listen to your body, especially the older you get. You can't ignore the signs, you know.
Yeah. So did they tell you what you should and shouldn't eat?
No, that's what I was hoping for. And he was like, "No, you seem fine." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
And what does acid reflux do? Like you have like
It's
like a burp almost? Like,
it's a bad burp, but you know your eyes are gonna water because it burns when it gets up here.
So like that's the acid. Yeah, the
Yeah,
stomach juices.
like burns. Like my nose will run, my eyes will water. On a
Really?
bad one, I've had some bad episodes. Stress will bring it out too.
And how long does it last?
I mean, it's depending on how bad of an episode I have. I try to control it as best I can. I'm aware of when it's gonna, how it's gonna affect me, when it's gonna affect me. If I eat too much, if I eat too late, or if I try to go to bed too soon after eating.
Have you ever tried fasting?
Yeah, fasting's great for me.
Does that work?
Yeah, it works well for me.
How many days have you done?
Oh, I don't do days. I do like 16 hours.
Oh, that's good.
Then I'll eat something.
I haven't done days either. I've done 24 hours. That's the most I've ever done.
Yeah, well, recently I went like 22 hours. It wasn't I wasn't trying to. I just had gone 22 hours without eating, and I was like, I feel fine.
George St. Pierre just did a 3-day one. He said he felt fucking amazing. I'm thinking about trying it. I just have to time it right. You
Isn't
know?
there talks of him fighting somebody again?
There's talks.
There's talks of him fighting Khabib or something.
Yeah, but I don't think Khabib is going to fight again, and I don't think George is going to either. I think George is done. You know, George is very happy and comfortable with his life now, and he's got his health.
How old's George now? What, 30?
38?
38. He's still got a lot of time left.
Not really.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, when you're that elite and
Yes.
you don't let yourself go ever.
Right, but there's a difference between, it's a big difference between like a 33-year-old Kamaru Usman and a 38-year-old George St. Pierre. There's a difference. Is George is the top of the food chain at 38, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like how fit he is, how well he takes care of his body, doesn't abuse himself, he's always in shape, and he's always working out. He's always doing something. He's always doing gymnastics. He does these pool workouts.
Yep.
He's always doing jiu-jitsu and kickboxing,
Yeah, he has not stopped.
but he's still 38.
True. Kamaru showed a lot of improvement over the years too. Like every fucking time.
Dude.
Every time I see him, he's like the Canelo of the UFC almost to me.
He's a real champion is what he is. You know what I mean?
I'm curious to see how Israel's going to bounce back now.
Oh, he'll be fine.
Oh, he'll be fine. I agree.
I just think when you're going up to 205, you got to go up to 205. You know, the especially when it comes to the wrestling, weight's real. And that guy Jan Blachowicz, that's a scary motherfucker. That
Yeah.
dude. That guy. You talk about power, like how people just have power. He's just got power. Like he's got crazy, preposterous one-punch power, and you always have to worry about that. And then when he got Izzy down and he controlled him on the ground, he's just size and strength is real, man. Izzy never gained any weight, so he went in and weighed in, I think like 190 something.
Yeah.
Blachowicz weighed 205 and probably went up to 220ish. You know, during the actual fight itself. So you know, you're talking about
Israel's a thin guy to begin with. I mean, he's got to grow into that size, as opposed to try and put it on.
But he'll fight anybody, man. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll
He's
go
a
up to
tough kid,
heavyweight.
and he's a really nice kid.
He's the nicest.
Oh my god, I've talked with him on Instagram. We DM
Yeah.
each other, and
He's
just
the
what a
nicest.
sweet guy.
I started contacting him long before he ever fought in the UFC.
Really?
Yeah, I was asking him when he's going to do it because I'd heard rumblings that he was thinking about making a leap into fighting MMA. And back then he was just kickboxing, and I was just a big fan of his style. Like, I mean, how could you not be? You watch his kickboxing highlight reel. Like, if you think Izzy is great in MMA, and he is,
I've seen
most
some old
certainly,
clips of him. He's fantastic.
fucking kickboxing, he's a genius, man.
And he's so thin, but he's got a lot of power.
oh, well, he's so accurate. He's just so,
He's very Anderson-ish.
he's creative and intelligent and sharp, and
Yeah.
everything he does when
He's not
fighting.
ring-worn.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only been KO'd once, and that was a brutal one against Alex Pereira, who's this ruthless knockout striker.
And that was in...
That was in Glory. I think it was in Glory. Might not have been Glory. Might have been in another kickboxing league. I'm not sure. I think it was Glory. But either way, Alex is a 2-division Glory kickboxing champion.
Did he have a rematch?
They fought twice. Alex won a decision the first time, and he KO'd him the second time.
Really?
Yeah. I think the first fight was close. The second fight, Izzy had him in real trouble, too. He had him really in trouble. And a lot of people thought that the fight should have been stopped, but that's probably Izzy fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's
Like,
a lot of that when that happens.
it's when a guy should and shouldn't be stopped is so controversial. You know, it's like Cowboy Cerrone this weekend, right? The Alex Moreno
I didn't get
fight.
to see it.
It was rough to watch.
I'm assuming Alex won.
Yeah, he stopped him in the first round. Alex is a bad motherfucker, though. He's
And
tough
you know,
as shit.
and Cerrone's a tough guy, but I think he's had a lot of bad knockouts lately, and I'm not going to be the one to tell Donald Cerrone to not fucking fight anymore. But as a fan,
I wish fighting didn't hurt.
well, I mean, I think
You know
that's
what I mean?
probably
You know what I mean? I wish it didn't
kind
hurt
of the
people.
essence of it.
I know. I wish it didn't hurt people. I wish you got out of your career and you didn't have to deal with brain damage and body damage. But that's also one of the reasons why it's so wild and exciting to watch is, there's severe consequences to their actions,
What about that fight that was supposed to happen with Anderson Silva and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
That's still happening.
Is that happening?
I think it's happening in June. See if we can find out when that's happening. Yeah, he's taking a boxing match.
I mean, at least he's taking it against the guy in the boxing ring who's not very well respected.
He might not be as respected as some, but Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is still a fucking beast. You cannot sleep on that guy. He is a dangerous man. He hits very hard.
But he doesn't have the work ethic that he needs. I
Well,
think that's what his problem is.
Remember when he fought Canelo?
Yeah.
And he basically just went into a defensive shell and just survived. But he did survive. Billy Joe Saunders didn't survive. But you have to say, Canelo today is better than the Canelo of then. See, what we're talking
Canelo of last weekend is better than the Canelo of the fight before. I mean, he's
100%.
a continuously improving fighter.
He talks about that too. He talked about that in one of the interviews that were talking to him about pre-fight, about maintaining his energy.
Yep.
And he's like, just because I'm at the top doesn't mean I'm going to slow down. He goes,
Nope.
no, I'm going to keep going, keep
He
going, keep that
understands it.
same energy.
He understands it.
But he understands he's hit this rare air where he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter on earth, and he's just so dominant. He's so dominant. That fight with Billy Joe was so interesting.
I was getting mad at people who were talking shit after
Here it
that.
is.
Wait,
June
who's Chavez
19th.
Sr. fighting then?
Oh, boy. Hector Camacho Jr.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Julio
because
Cesar Chavez Senior's fight. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Senior beat up Camacho. That's why, didn't he?
Wow.
He
That's
beat up
crazy.
Junior's dad.
Did he?
I think he did, like in the 90s.
What?
Did he fight him? I think he may check BoxRec. He may have.
I do not think that
I remember when
Hector Camacho beat Julio Cesar
Edwin
Chavez.
Rosario was the one that gave Camacho a rough fight, and that's what made Camacho change his style.
Really?
Yeah, Edwin El Chapo Rosario. He closed Hector's eyes in that fight.
Hector Camacho.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Senior.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that
Senior.
made Camacho the more
Yeah.
defensive fighter after that.
I'm conflating. I thought you were talking about Julio Cesar Chavez.
No. But
Yeah.
I'm saying I think Chavez himself. Yeah, he did. He fought Hector Camacho, unanimous decision.
He won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when he was undefeated.
I thought you were saying. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that Hector Camacho would beat Julio Cesar Chavez.
No. That was never
Chavez
the case.
beat his ass. That was when Chavez was the king. There's only one fight there, that Pernell Whitaker fight. That's a questionable
They
one.
ripped off Pernell
I believe that.
Every time Pernell fought a guy from Culiacan, he lost to Jose Luis Ramirez, shady decision, and then he lost to Chavez, bad decision. He lost to De La Hoya, bad decision.
I don't remember the De La Hoya fight, honestly.
Oh yeah, Purnell. Listen, Purnell.
He was
Purnell
so
got fucked so
slick.
bad in boxing with decisions.
Yeah, well, for sure he did in the Chavez one. That was a bad one where a lot
Even
of people...
even the De La Hoya fight, he got fucked on that
yeah,
deal.
I believe you. I don't remember that fight, though. That's one of those ones where I'd have to go back. There's so many fights. You can only store so many of them in your head.
I know every time I meet a fighter, I'm like, hey, I remember you. And it'd be like some bum, like not a bum, but like a journeyman, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, and they think you don't know. And I'm like, I remember you. Like, yeah, you were a good fighter, you know? Like, remember that guy?
Greg Haugen.
Greg Haugen. I remember Greg Haugen.
Remember when Greg Haugen fought Chavez?
Wasn't he from Boston, Greg Haugen?
Oh, maybe.
No,
New
I was thinking
Hampshire.
Bobby Chiz, I'm thinking.
Bobby Ches was from New Jersey, I believe.
I think Greg Haugen was from just outside the Bronx. What's that area there?
Greg Haugen?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was...
I want to say he was from Massachusetts or New Hampshire or some shit. But I might be thinking of him. I might be thinking of Joey Gamach, who was
Joey
from
Gamach, I remember
Maine.
him.
He was
Yeah.
from Maine.
Yeah, he was trying to come up on the...
Greg Haugen. Auburn, Washington. So he's from Washington State.
You know who used to train with Greg Haugen was Joey Medina.
Really?
Yeah, they were stablemates at some point.
No shit.
Yeah.
Well, when he fought Julio Cesar Chavez, well, how old is Chavez then? If Chavez is fighting again, if Haugen is 60,
I think Chavez is like in his late 50s, if I'm not mistaken.
fucking animal, 58,
58,
fighting
yeah.
again.
I mean, that's a guy who's, you know...
In his prime, dude, the Greg Haugen fight was him in his prime. See, find Julio Cesar Chavez versus Greg Haugen. I was watching a video that was breaking down what happened with that fight because Haugen had decided he had played the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And he had taunted him and saying that he fought a bunch of Tijuana cab drivers.
Oh, yeah. He was great at talking shit.
But my God, he was a monster.
that liver
back
shot.
then.
Fucking-
Bro, he was so accurate. He knew exactly where you were going to be.
Yep.
Julio Cesar Chavez in the day was so slick. I mean, everything about him was so good.
And he would walk through you.
Oh, my God. And it just his ripping
that.
shots to the body, his
Always to the liver.
endurance.
Always looking for the liver shot.
And his endurance was off the charts. Like the volume of strikes that he would put on you. He beat the fuck out of Greg Haugen in this fight. And then after the fight, Greg Haugen was like, well, they must have been some pretty fucking tough cab drivers. And then they hugged. And it was kind of cool because he
Yonkers. I think he fought out of Yonkers at some point.
Haugen did?
Yeah. There was another fight out of Yonkers, too, back then.
Chavez was absolutely one of my all-time favorites. When he was in his prime, he was just perpetual motion, man.
Frankie Randall died last year.
Yeah, well, Frankie Randall was the guy that really
that beat him.
ended
Yeah.
Chavez's reign, right?
Yeah.
Dropped him with
he
the
was
right
the first
hand.
guy to drop him.
Yeah. What did Frankie Randall die from?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Frankie the Surgeon Randall. I remember
Yeah,
very clearly
dude.
though.
He had a piston of a right hand.
And he had that night. I remember when he fought Chavez. He had those green gloves. It was like this lime green. It was really.
he?
I remember that it was like a baby blue. It was some sort of. It was one of those pleasing colors to me. I remember as a kid.
He beat him twice. Remember?
Yeah, he beat him in the rematch, too,
Beat him in
yeah.
the rematch. Well, Frankie just had that style. He had a perfect style for Julio, but also Julio was, who knows how many fights in his career.
He was on his way to 100-0.
God,
And Frankie had stopped. It was like Chavez was like in his 90-something fight.
that's crazy. 100-0 is crazy. Yeah, when it comes to all-time greats, Randall, who died 59, result of dementia.
Wow, that early too.
Oh,
That's
man.
crazy.
Wow, that's
What about those
just-
people that say Saunders quit? I'm like, his fucking face was caved in.
Go back to that, Jamie. Look at that. Chavez was 89-0-1.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Fuck, 89-0.
Yeah. The draw was with who? With Purnell.
I don't know. Was it?
I think it was. Was a
Was
draw.
that a draw?
I think it was. Yeah. The draw was with Purnell.
Oh, I thought he lost a decision. I thought Purnell lost a decision. Was it a draw? It might have been a draw. If it was a draw, how the fuck did they not fight again?
Yeah, it was a draw. A majority
thought he
decision
beat-
draw at the top there.
Oh,
There it is, right there. Yeah.
wow. Majority decision. But that's a majority decision. That's not a draw.
Well, it's still a draw.
No, majority decision means one fighter. It's a split decision.
No, you can still get a. How does that work?
But a majority decision is not a draw, is it?
I think one
Split decision.
No, what it is
loss.
that
Frankie Randall.
one judge had it for Purnell, one judge had it for Chavez, and then one judge had a draw.
Really?
Yeah, and I think if you're the champ, you get the
Oh, I see.
you get to keep your
Oh,
title.
a majority draw. That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's not a majority
yeah.
decision. We're thinking of it the wrong way.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And most people thought that Purnell won.
Yeah.
But
I thought so too.
But there's always been when a guy is as loved as Julio Cesar Chavez, and then the odds on him are so high, right, of him winning.
Yeah.
Then everybody gets weird, right? Because like the judges,
They want to protect the records.
Well, there's been some judges too, especially in Vegas, that will never work again because they put in like remember when Manny Pacquiao lost to Desert Storm?
Yeah. Tim Bradley.
Tim Bradley, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Sorry, Tim. This brain fart. He's a great commentator too, by the way.
He's a good commentator.
He's very good.
The problem is he always looks like he wants to. He's always talking about. Well, he seems like he wants to come back, but he's not going to come back.
Well, he's a great fighter. When you're a great fighter, you look at things through the eyes of what you did or what you could do.
That's the only way to do
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Well, Lennox is a fucking great commentator.
Lennox is a great commentator. I've been hanging out with him a lot lately, actually.
Yeah. You know who doesn't do that? Who's a great fighter? Who doesn't talk? Is Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. is a fantastic commentator.
Yeah, I like Roy when he commentates
Yeah.
as well. I was asking Mike Sugar Ray Leonard why he doesn't train anybody, and he said he can't train somebody who doesn't. He's never met somebody who has the same desire he had, and he said I can't train somebody who's not going to dig as deep as I digged. Doug, rather.
That makes sense, I guess. I
was like, I just can't-
I'm sure
I
you
can't.
could find someone. But, a lot of great fighters are not great trainers,
Yeah. Well, those who can't do, right?
Well, it's not just that. Some who
Buddy
are
McGirt's a great trainer.
He's a great fighter and a great trainer.
Yeah.
Some do become great. I mean, it's really just a matter of your personality. John David Jackson is another guy. Great fighter, great trainer.
Yep.
It doesn't always work that way, though. Like Marvin Hagler never trained anybody that I know of, did he?
No, I don't think so.
I think when he was done, he was done.
He walked right away from the sport,
Yeah, man.
disheartened and angry, and because he got fucked over early in his career too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But he also is one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
I mean, the legacy that guy left.
He's from your state.
Fuck yeah. Brockton, Massachusetts. Marvelous Marvin.
It was a beast. I remember the first time I went to a strip joint when I was 16.
You went to a strip joint when you were 16?
So my boxing coach took me
Oh, my God.
to go see the Leonard Hagler fight.
Oh, they had it at a strip joint?
Yeah, because it was
How distracting.
Well, no, here's the thing. It was well, for me, it was horribly distracting. It was closed circuit back then. So he took me to the strip joint, maybe about 3 or 4 miles from my house, and he was like, "Come on, we're gonna go watch the Hagler Leonard fight." And he walked me right into the strip joint, and he paid whatever the cover charge. I think it was $10. And I had never seen naked women in real life.
Right.
And I just remember sitting in Pervert's Row, and I didn't care about the fight at that point. I was just like, oh my God, there's a vagina in front of me. And I could only imagine the look on my face. I was just like, ah. And then the club never got the fight. So they started throwing bottles in the club, and I'm not even paying. The bottles are whizzing past my head, and I'm just staring at vaginas.
So, like, there was a problem with the pay-per-view or
Yeah,
something?
something happened with their feed. And everybody they were kicking everybody. They made an announcement. Everybody, please exit the building. We're giving refunds on the way out. And I was just like, all right. I got up and I walked out. I got $10. And I was like, where the fuck's my coach? He left because they didn't have the fight. So he went to another place. And he wasn't about to find me. He was
You
just
were
like
16. He just left you there.
he just left me there. And I walked out. I got $10. I walked back in to try and find him again. And then when I walked, I got another $10, and I was like, "I'm up $20 right now. I'm 16 with $20. 1987 with $20. You kidding me?
Did you take a cab home?
No, I jogged home because it
with
was
the
like
20 in your pocket.
yeah, it was late, and I was a young kid. I was boxing, so I
Use it as an excuse for do some road work.
jogged home. I was happy. I didn't even notice the jog. I was just like, I got home, and I remember painting the ceiling when I got back that night. It was just like, wow.
These kids today, they don't know. They
don't know.
They can watch fights on their phones. Like you could watch the Canelo fight. You could have been anywhere. If you have 5G, you just pull up your phone,
Right.
get on the Zone app, and you can watch the fight anywhere you are. Back in our day, we had to go places.
Yeah.
Remember those days? The
yeah.
closed circuit days?
I was in Omaha when the fight happened, so I don't know where I was going to watch this. I was in my green room, and my assistant Eddie texted me. He goes, "Hey fool, the fight's starting!" And I was about to go on stage. I go, "All right." I thought he meant like the card was starting.
Oh, the actual fight.
Yeah. So when I got off, I go, as the main event started, he goes, "Yeah, I texted you already, fool." I'm like, "All right." And what happened? He goes, "Go look at the highlights." And I opened up my Instagram, and there it was.
That fucking uppercut he hit him with. My
Yeah.
God.
Nasty.
Canelo is in this weird place where he's kind of cleaned out the division, right? He's got Caleb Plant.
Right.
And not just that division. He's kind of cleaned out a lot of divisions. Triple G is still in the fucking running, which is interesting. Because
He hasn't fought in 2 years.
No, he fought recently. Triple G fought.
He fought last year.
Yeah.
It's been a year, though, definitely, since he fought last.
I don't think it's quite a year because I was in Texas. I watched it in Texas.
Live or?
Yeah. Find out when he fought. But he looked fucking good, dude. He
Yeah.
not only looked good, he looked ripped. So I was like, piss test, please. Because he's like 38 and
I think he's bordering 40 real quick right
looked
now.
as good as he's ever looked. He looked phenomenal. December.
Oh, December.
There you go.
Oh, okay, so it's not been that long then.
Yeah. So,
So is he fighting? When
5
the fuck
months
is he
ago.
fighting again then?
well, they're talking about him possibly fighting Canelo.
I don't think that's a good fight for him anymore.
for him, maybe
Yeah.
not, but maybe the last chance at romance. I
Right.
mean, how much more of an option does he have? I mean, where's he going to go? What else does he have? But the first fight, I thought he won.
Definitely. I was at that one.
Yeah, I thought he won the first fight.
I was ringside there.
The second fight, very close. Very close. And Teddy Atlas was saying they should have given it to Triple G. A lot of other people favored Canelo, but a much better performance for Canelo. But I think Canelo, as like we said, these guys like Kamaru Usman, like Canelo Alvarez, like these guys who are just consummate champions, you're just going to get a better version of them every single time they step into the ring. Every single time they get in the cage.
Yeah. Kamara shows improvement.
Every
Impressive
time.
improvement.
Like a young fighter. He shows improvement like a 22-year-old guy who's just learning the game.
Like I was nervous when he fought Covington. I was at that fight. And I remember I was sitting with Covington's family because Chuck Zito got me the tickets. So I was sitting there, and then when the main event started, I noticed all the MAGA hats and and Candace Owens was sitting there, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to be on this side. I don't want my friends to see me sitting here." So Clay Guida was sitting across the aisle, and I go, "Clay, who's sitting there?" He said, "Nobody. Come sit with me." So I moved across the aisle and sat with Clay that fight.
Dude, did you see, speaking of manga, did you see Shane Gillis's sketch that he did on Trump doing speed dating?
No.
Holy shit, is it funny.
Who's Shane Gillis?
Shane Gillis is the guy that got kicked off of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he got hired from Saturday Night Live, and then they found him on a podcast talking shit. Just
random like this, just words, nothing.
fucking around,
Yeah.
like comics do.
Yeah,
Which is,
we spitball and say the most obscene things, and then we realize this works, this doesn't work.
the problem is people take things out of context.
Absolutely, 100%.
I'm telling you, man, you got to watch this. Like, you'd have to watch it. Like, I don't want to play it. I want people to watch it. Trump speed dating, Gilly and Keeves. It's only got 29,000 views. It should have 29 million. It's fucking brilliant. I'll put it up on Twitter or whatever later today. It's so good. It's so funny, man. It's brilliant.
Have you done? Shit, it's horrible. I can't remember the guy's name, and he's a friend of mine too. And I just did his podcast. He does it in character.
Jim Norton?
No. He
Chip Chipperson?
No, he
that
was
what
an
you're saying?
SNL member at one point too.
He does it in character.
He does it. He'll do a different character every time he interviews you. So when I did it, he did it as Jimmy Fallon.
Who are you talking about?
Fucking hell.
Do you know who he's talking about? Jamie?
I feel bad, and he's the worst part is he's a friend, and his name's
Real
not
good
coming
friend?
to me. Yeah,
Real tight?
yeah.
If somebody says, "Hey, that hilarious guy from Canada, you know who he is, you're going to get hurt real bad," I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, that guy."
Jeff Richards. Fuck me
no,
in the
I
eye.
haven't done it. No.
Yeah, he just when I did it, he did it as Fallon, and then he just had on Sherry O'Terry, and he did it as a different character. It was really funny.
You know
as
who
well.
I had on recently from Saturday Night Live? Jim Brewer. He was fucking
I
fantastic.
watched it. It was awesome.
He's so funny, man.
Yeah.
That guy, you want to talk about a guy who never got his just due, never got his respect that he deserves as a comic. He's one of the funniest fucking guys ever. He's
Jimmy's a
so
great guy.
funny.
You know what it was? They look at the industry. Here's your opportunity. in the 90s. The game is shot a little. They gave it early, and he excelled with it. And then for some reason, they move on.
He didn't want to do it anymore. No, with him, it's not that. It's not that they move on. He didn't give a fuck. Like, he even talked to his wife about it. She was like, why do you keep doing the show? It makes you miserable. He had terrible things to say about doing the show. He did not enjoy it. He had terrible things to say about the way he was treated, the way they would rip off material and steal sketches from each other.
Yep.
And not good.
I mean, him and Dave really, they worked together a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, Half Baked, you know?
Yeah, Half Baked. Then they had a sitcom together.
They did?
In the 90s, yeah. They were
did?
like, it was like a buddy show.
Really?
Yeah.
There was a lot of those sitcoms. That just
That's what happened.
vanished in the
That's how
90s.
him and Dave forged the friendship for Half Baked.
Oh, really?
It's called Buddies.
It was called Buddies. Yeah, there you go.
Show me what that looked like. I'm vaguely remembering this.
Yeah, I remember.
Buddies.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Richard Kind.
Look
They're
at
on
young
Home
Jim
Improvement. Well, yeah,
Brewer.
they're on Home Improvement there, but
Oh, was it an
I
ABC
think-
sitcom? Is that what it
must have
was?
been, yeah, probably how
I
they tried
think
to-
this was
Wow.
this is what spawned the spin-off for them.
Oh. Wow. Sitcoms. Boy.
I was on set for Half Baked a lot, hanging out in Dave's trailer back then in the night. It was shot in Toronto. And I would hang out in Dave's trailer. He had a white Pomeranian named Thelonious back then. Dave's always been a fucking amazing guy.
He's on another level now.
Oh, it's incredible.
We've been doing a lot of shows together.
Yeah.
It's he's beautiful. I love what he stands for too. We put this clip up on the Instagram.
I saw
the
it.
kindness conspiracy.
Yep.
That's really how he is, man. It's like
He's always been like that, too. It's not like it's not a new thing for him. He's always been that guy.
he's always been a sweetheart of a guy, but now he's really like trying to push that out there.
See, as far as I'm concerned, he's the real woke. Like, that to me is what woke should be.
right.
It's not this fake
angry woke.
Yeah, it's a real wokeness he
Right.
has.
It's not woke is tainted. The word's tainted, but real compassionate, kind.
Yeah. Well, that's what
compassionate
woke
person.
should be. If you're
Yeah.
actually woke, you'll be compassionate and understanding to other people's ways of thinking.
But I think what woke means to a lot of people that adopt it is like activism, you know, like calling people out and yelling at people and a lot of this very angry shit that we see online today. But it's, you know, a lot of it is also, you're just dealing with a lot of people that are very unhappy. And they're unhappy and they express that
Well,
unhappiness
there's too
through
much
attacking.
voices for people that don't need a voice.
Ooh, look what you said.
You know what I mean? And you know what I'm noticing too? It's not so much that there's these people externally, it's the industry itself that's doing this.
Well, it's the world that's doing this, and it's accentuated through social media. I mean, if you ever see the documentary, The Social Dilemma, they talk about how this is happening and that the algorithms are actually enhancing and even reinforcing this kind of behavior. People aren't necessarily naturally inclined to like form these tribes and hate on people that disagree with them. You know, people, I think, generally speaking, would like to be reasonable. People like to get along with people. They have opinions, but they like to get along with people. But when you reinforce these thought bubbles and you reinforce these echo chambers, which is what online, you know, algorithms do, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or whatever.
It's also about how you look to other people. It's so much about appearance as opposed to the substance behind it.
What do you mean?
Well, people, you know, you put this face out for the social media world, and then you're this piece of shit behind it.
Right.
You know?
There's a lot of that. Yeah. There's
and
a lot of that.
and there's a whole generation of it now. You know, this whole chicken nugget generation that's coming up right now.
Chicken nugget generation?
Yeah, because that's how their fucking palate is chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? They grew up eating fucking chicken nuggets. Our kids are the chicken nugget generation.
Well, these kids are definitely, they're weird in the way they think you should communicate. You know, growing up communicating online has got to be fucking terrible for the way your brain functions, the way your brain forms.
It's the same thing with shopping and music and everything. There's a reason that things are very thin and shallow.
Yeah. But it's also, coincidentally, at the same time, this is the best time ever for long-form, intelligent conversations. So think of that.
It is, but it's not being used that way.
But it is right here.
Well, right here it is.
But there's a lot of
But
these.
you also have people of our age that are doing this because we understand both sides of this coin.
Yeah, but there's some kids in their 20s that have some pretty badass podcasts. People are trying. They're talking about things. And this is the antidote, or at least the counterpoint, to this shallow online culture.
I feel like Andrew Schultz is the guy that can speak to the younger generation as well as our generation can talk to each other. He's that conduit between our world and their world.
He's certainly one of them for sure,
Yeah.
and he's one of the most intelligent and reasonable guys of the young up and coming generation. And one of the most thoughtful, also one of the most clever.
Yes.
In terms of like the choices he makes and the way he like doing the thing that he did for Netflix and taking the time during the pandemic to innovate. And
Yep.
I'm a big fan of the way he moves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also feel like he's the guy who can explain to these people why these people are this way.
Right.
And why this isn't bad and why it should be okay.
Yeah, well, that's what he did with those Netflix clips.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those
He
Netflix
killed
clips
it. And there's
killed
so many fucking jokes that he drops in there. It's like
Yeah.
watching an episode of Veep. You don't,
Yep.
you catch jokes. You have to watch it 5-6 times in order to catch every joke.
Well, his is like visuals and punchline after punchline after punchline.
It's
and
incredible.
everything's ba-da-da-da, rapid fire.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a fucking semi-automatic coming at you.
Yeah, but every generation needs someone who's out there pushing the boundaries and out there, trying to innovate and trying to, hustle.
He's
a
the
fucking
non-tapper.
hustler.
He won't tap.
That's right. That's right. He's not tapping. Some people tap too quick.
Yeah, I tapped with you quick, but it was in pain. What do you want from me?
You.
Listen, you had me in a calf slicer. That
That was
fucking
not
thing
a
hurts, dude.
That was not a calf
No,
slicer.
it was a calf slicer on the way to the move.
I was just setting up the twister.
Yeah, that hurts. I'm glad I tapped when I tapped. I'll tell you this.
I wasn't mean to you though. Like,
you weren't mean.
You're making it seem like
No. Listen, you weren't a bully.
okay.
You had me in a move on the way to a move.
Uh-huh.
It's pressure. It's like tapping because of pressure. It's the same thing. A lot of, Jean-Jacques not going to tap from pressure.
Well, you
He's
never
not
gonna
gonna-
get
I don't think he's
Jean-Jacques in
ever
that
gonna
position.
tap.
You're not getting him in that position.
Did I ever
Anyway.
tell you when I was rolling with him last? Must have been about a year and a half ago. And my ankle to this day still hurts because
what?
he's in my guard and I have my leg up high on his back, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to try rubber guard.
Oh no.
So I had my leg up high on his back,
Yeah.
like right around here, and he feels my leg up high, and I reach over, and he goes, "You're not flexible enough." And having never done rubber guard, seeing videos of Eddie do it and all these guys in 10th Planet do it, and I go, I'm going to try rubber guard. But because he said, you're not flexible enough, my ego went, I'm going to fucking go for it. And I didn't know that I had to grab my leg. I grabbed my foot,
Oh.
and I cranked my foot.
And you hurt your own ankle?
I hurt my own. To this day, it still hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally fucked myself over.
To this day?
To this day.
Did you get an MRI or anything?
No, I have not. But it's not been hurting lately. And my girl gets mad because I'm like, babe, can you rub my ankle? It's swollen today. She goes, no, I'm fucking tired. And that's the problem when you date a girl your own age. You're like, you can't pull the same old man shit on
You're
her.
both exhausted.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's
I'm like, you
hilarious.
don't know what it's like. I'm going to be 51 this year. She's like, motherfucker, I'm going to be 49. I don't need your bullshit. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the rubber guard. Rubber guard, you want to grab below the ankle. You want
Yes,
to get
yes.
it.
Guess who figured that out?
Yeah, you want to get it right here. This
Yeah.
is what you want.
So you want it underneath. I was trying to go from over the top. I went over the top and grabbed my foot.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. But there's sometimes you do grab your foot.
Yeah.
There's sometimes when you double bag, you have to grab your foot. You have to grab your foot and make a transition.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
did. I
There's
found
a-
out the hard way.
You should take some 10th Planet classes.
I really should.
Learn some shit.
I would like to do it with Eddie.
Yeah, he'll do it. I'll set it up.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Eddie's the best.
Because I know Eddie's been going gi lately.
Oh, he'll do both.
Yeah.
He likes to fuck around with the gi.
Yeah, he's been coming back and hanging out and
Yeah.
doing gi.
Yeah, when I met Eddie, he was all gi,
Yeah. I saw pictures. I didn't know he had long hair and stuff.
Oh, he had crazy long hair back when he was in his rock and roll days. He used to put his hair in like a scuba helmet. Like, not a scuba helmet, like a mask. Like he would tuck all his hair because he had this, like, his hair down to his ass.
Like a metalhead.
So he would, like, I don't know what he would do, but he'd wrap it all up like a Sikh and fucking tuck it in this fucking...
Tie it under his chin and stuff.
He had this whole fucking scuba thing that he would put on his head.
Yeah,
when
the
he would
guys-
roll.
A lot of the black belts in the gym, they're like, we used to think he was a weird guy.
Look
you
at
know?
him.
Hilarious. He was like, look at him, he's so pretty.
Beautiful face. What lips? Look at his features.
I'm
So
just
handsome.
happy when people come up to go, hey, Eddie. I go, no, it's Russell. And I'm like, all right.
They think you look like
They
Eddie.
think I look like I posted a picture of him and I we're together, and I go, we are not the same person.
Who the fuck thinks you guys
A
are the
lot
same
of people
person?
think because of my hair and his hair, you know.
Okay.
And I guess
Those people need to go to
maybe
a doctor.
big eyes. Hey man, I'm happy when they make that when they think I'm him. They just see pictures. They go, it must be Eddie.
You ever seen Eddie do stand-up?
I've been in the room when he's done it
Bro, he's got some funny shit.
because he's nuts.
He's fucking funny.
He is funny because he's
fucking
insane.
Funny.
That's
Yeah, he's
what I love
definitely
about
insane.
him.
But he's got some bits about. Well, I don't want to give away the premises. I'll fuck it up. But he made me laugh. Like legitimately, made me laugh. And I started getting him to do open mic nights. Like, God, so
5-6 years ago, maybe.
way long time ago, and he quit. He did it like this was like 2003, somewhere around then.
Is Sam out here now?
Tripoli?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe.
Where
so.
did he move to? Did he move?
Did he move?
I heard he moved.
I don't know. So LA's kind of opening up again, right?
Yeah, I think the store opened this past weekend.
Yeah.
You're the Pied Piper, though. Everybody came out. Joe's going. We're going.
Well,
It's a good
it's a great place. There's a lot of clubs out here now.
Aren't you? Are you opening one?
Yeah.
When's that happening?
It's complicated. I'll tell you off air. There's
Okay.
a lot going on. It's
Well,
not
when it
easy to do
eventually
one of those
does
things.
open, I would love to play it.
You will.
That would be
When
great.
it does, 100% you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when I send up the bat signal, you'll be one of the first people I call. It's opening up one of these things takes a lot. There's a lot of shit.
A lot of red tape. A lot of red tape.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have to happen. It's but
It's a perfect
interesting.
storm situation.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I love being out here, though. I'll tell you that.
You
I'm
like it?
enjoying it
Like it a lot?
very much.
Are you doing a lot of hunting?
No, I haven't done any hunting since I've been here.
There's got to be some good hunting out here, though.
Yeah, there's hunting, and then there's like air quotes hunting, where it's like you're in a fucking fenced-in area.
Yeah, that's like
They have some of that out
it's
here
like
too.
fishing in a stocked pond.
Yeah, a small stocked pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like they have feeders. They do hunting over feeders here. So they have this like these feeders that drop food, and then these animals like get accustomed to the feeder going off every day at like 9 a.m.
Right.
So people sit there in a tree stand at 9 a.m. waiting for these animals to come and get their food.
It's not good.
Well, it's one thing if you're trying to eradicate, like if you have like pigs and you're trying to eradicate an invasive species like wild pigs.
Right.
Then I understand why you'd have a feeder. But it's harvesting more than it's hunting. You're not going out in the wild looking for a wild animal.
Right.
You're kind of tricking them.
It's not fair.
What is fair? You have a gun.
True.
It all gets weird, right? It's like when people like the non-hunters like, yeah, if you're a real man, you'd use a fucking knife. Okay, if I was a real man, I'd use my hands. Why would I even use
Yeah.
a knife? That seems stupid. Yeah, use your hands. Well, then I'd starve to death. Like, what are you saying? That's one of the things in this book, A Land So Strange.
Mm-hmm.
It details the Native Americans and their persistence hunting, where they would chase these animals down and just run after them until they drop dead.
What was Vaca hunting with?
Well, they were doing whatever they could to get by. They weren't just hunting. Like they ate dogs. They
Whatever they
ate
could
deer
find.
shit. They literally ate anything they could find. They were at the verge of starving to death multiple times, and a lot of them did. It's a crazy book, man. It's just crazy to think that.
Because it's all about the weaponry. The Europeans came with what I don't know what they came with, but they looked at the native people as savages, but really the natives had their shit together.
Well, they definitely had their shit together in terms of they had. See, that's one of the things. I'll give you some spoilers. When the Spaniards came here, they had horses and rifles, right? They had muskets and guns, and when they lost their ships, and when they got shipwrecked, and when they got stuck here, they realized that they were fucked and there was no food, so they started eating their horses. And then they started taking their rifles and melting them down to turn them into axes so that they could cut down trees so they could build rafts so they could get out of there. They realized they were in this terrible situation, and they ate all their horses, and then they melted down all their rifles, and then they had to deal with angry natives. It's crazy. It's really interesting. I become just completely engrossed in those kind of stories. All these Native American. I've read now it's probably like 8 or 9 books on Native American life.
Because the stories being told properly now.
Yes.
It's not being told as these people were savages and we came to tame them.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it was more of a, oh, hold on, there's two sides to this story here.
Yeah. Well, I think they told a convenient story for the longest time.
Of course.
And
That's
now
what we learned growing up.
Yeah, and now they're telling a story that's like way deeper and way crazier, and just it makes you think how if you could go back just a few hundred years and see
I'd have been
if
dead.
you had a fast forward
I would have
camera.
fucking died.
But if you got a fast forward camera and like could see, you know, you have a fast forward video, like what it was like to go from nothing where Chicago is to Chicago. You
Yeah.
know, to like,
What was that movie with Angelina Jolie? Wasn't that the one? Oh, no, it was Scarlett Johansson where she traveled all the way back in time.
Oh, Lucy?
Yeah. Remember at the end? I
Oh,
think?
yeah. That was when she took that crazy drug that turned her into a god.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
a good movie. I
Yeah,
like that
but
movie.
the ending part was pretty wild where I like when they did that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That movie was weird.
You know what I watch on YouTube a lot is they found all those film footage of people driving, like they colorized some of it, you know, the 1800s and the early 1900s, New York City or whatever. And you see the horse and carriages in the city. And
They
so it's good.
colorized it?
Yeah, but it's not very well colorized. Everything ends up being purple. Everyone's wearing purple for some reason.
Oh, really?
I guess that's the way the colors showed up.
What did they wear back then? Were they into purple? They probably didn't have a lot of dyes back
Have you ever
then.
seen
Yeah,
this?
see?
This is supposed like the first fight caught on film. They could just be fucking around because no one's reacting
Let
to
me
them.
see.
But
Or maybe people
That
just
guy's throwing
fought.
sand at him.
I may,
See this?
or that.
Back it
yeah.
up. Let me see it from
It's
the
ju-
beginning.
it's just
Let me
replaying
see
it
his
right now.
technique.
It's that old school technique.
It's from 1901. It's 20 seconds of
I
film.
find they didn't know shit about leg kicks back then.
Look at that guy jumping up and down for no reason.
I think they're fighting. I think they're drunk and they're fighting and they
Maybe.
just both suck.
They're like leaving work or something.
Yeah. Oh, they're fighting, dude.
Hey, what's that rumor that you were going to fight?
What is that rumor?
Have you not heard that rumor?
What's the rumor?
The Joe Rogan's going to have an MMA fight.
No.
I swear to God, that rumor's been floating
You're on
around.
Twitter too long.
I see people, hey, did you hear Joe's fighting? I go,
No,
is he really? I was like, I
nonsense.
can't see him doing that.
You don't think I would tell you? I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it had some legs for a minute.
Is this recently?
Yeah, in the past month.
Thank
I heard.
God I'm not online.
Yeah,
I don't
it
pay
was-
attention.
It was somebody said, yeah, Joe Rogan's going to fight. And I'm like, really?
Incorrect. Not
Yeah.
interested. No. Trying to keep what little brain damage I have to a minimum.
I mean, it would be pretty. I'm sure fucking people would pay a fuckload of money to see you fight somebody.
What? Yeah, see me get my ass kicked. That's what they
No,
want.
I don't think that would.
I'd have to fight someone that people hate.
Yeah, I don't see it as a wash.
I'm not interested. Would you fight somebody?
I don't know.
You don't know. So
Not
you're
if
thinking
it-
about it.
Not. I mean, if the money was right, probably
Would you? If somebody came along with a big money fight, like you and Aziz Ansari?
Well, give me somebody who would be able to fucking defend themselves. You know
I
what I mean?
want to see a slaughter fest. All right. Who would you? Who do you think you'd match up well with?
I don't know. It would
In
have
the
to be
comedy
somebody.
world.
It would have to be somebody in the same age bracket. I would imagine.
Right.
Who has some sort of training at some point.
Mm.
You know, I don't want to be. But at the same time, I wouldn't want them to be too tough. You know. I don't know what my intestinal fortitude's like nowadays.
Well, you'd have to train more than once a week too.
yeah,
That's the
no,
other thing.
I'd go into full training camp.
Full training camp.
Full training camp. If I was going to fight somebody, I'd go into a full training camp. I'm
How
not
many
gonna-
months?
3 at least.
3 months. That's all you'd need to get ready for
I would
a
say,
fight?
I would say 3 to 5, but I
What
mean,
would you like if I gave you an ideal time?
5 months.
5 months.
Yeah,
Really?
just get my shit
Dun,
together.
dun, dun,
The
dun,
first
dun,
month
dun,
would be,
dun,
you know,
dun,
getting
dun,
your
dun, dun, dun,
getting your mental right.
Getting your mental right.
Then
That's
the-
a whole month.
At least, yeah. You got to
How do you do that?
You got to break habits.
Break habits.
You got to break bad habits. You got to break the sleeping
Like
in.
what,
You got to
booze?
break. The booze would be easy to get rid of. I know, I like it, but it's not like an important thing to me. I can go without drinking. That's not a big deal to me. Cigars, I do love. You know what? It's your fault, by the way, that this Buffalo Trace is now in my life.
It's good stuff.
It's fucking fantastic.
Have a little. There you go.
Put it in my little Joe Rogan cup here.
There you go.
Good. That's a lot.
Cheers.
Cheers, Pally.
Cheers, my brother.
This,
Don't go fighting anybody.
I'm not fighting anybody. You crazy?
Chad Johnson's supposed to fight, and I can't
Ojo
find
Cinco.
out who he's going to fight. They've only said who he's not going to fight. But
Well,
it's in,
maybe they
like,
don't
3
have
weeks.
a fight set for him. Oh, it's on Triller?
Yeah, it's on the Mayweather Logan Paul card,
Really?
June 6th.
Really?
Now, is Mayweather fighting both of them, or is he just fighting the one?
He's just fighting the one. He's fighting Logan. What do you think's going to happen there?
I mean, listen, you can't. I don't care if you fucking like boxing, and you look good doing it. You're not going to beat one of the best fighters ever. It's just not the fucking way the world works.
I know, but isn't it funny that he's like 50 pounds lighter?
Yeah, because he doesn't give a shit.
It's kind of funny though.
It's not the first guy 50 pounds heavier than him. He's lit up. He's probably lit him up in the gym. You know, Caleb Plant.
For sure.
Caleb Plant was the whipping boy in the Mayweather gym before.
Was he?
He was the guy that got his ass beat by everybody, and then he
When?
became the top guy. But
When
I
did
always
that
say,
happen?
the more you get your ass whooped and you don't like it, the more you're going to get better at not getting your ass whooped.
You know, I'm not that familiar with Caleb Plant. I know he's really good, but I don't think I've seen any of his fights.
I mean, listen, and let's call it
Seen
what
the
it
highlights.
is. Let's call it what it is. I mean, Canelo will beat him, but that doesn't mean Caleb's a pushover by any means.
Just pull up some Caleb Plant highlights. You know who I'm a big fan of? Teofimo Lopez.
Oh, I love that kid.
That motherfucker can crack.
Yeah, and
He's
both
a
my kids are
beast.
half Honduran, so that's kind
Oh
of
yeah, there you go.
little soft spot for me.
He
there.
can crack.
He can crack. I just want him to have a couple of more fights before he steps it up.
Steps it up.
I mean,
He beat Lomachenko.
he did beat Lomachenko, but I mean, Lomachenko had a year off. Lomachenko didn't look good. That's not to negate anything Teofimo did. Teofimo's the truth for sure.
What is Caleb Plant undefeated?
He may be. I don't know.
There was a guy
But-
I was watching last week. He had 28.
You look at the way he
knockouts.
comes in now. I mean, that's because of years of getting into wars in the gym.
So he was a Mayweather guy.
He was a Mayweather guy. He was in the gym. He was a young kid. I think a friend of mine who worked for Mayweather
Dude, look at his head.
reminded me that I saw Caleb in the gym the one time I went to go watch Mayweather train, and I think he said Caleb must have been 4 or 5-0 at that time.
He looks slick.
And
Oh.
but he's one of those guys that really fucking puts his nose to the grind and fixes his mistakes as well.
It's kind of one of those things, man, where when you're
That short left hook, you see,
Yeah.
that's a Mayweather thing right there.
when you're facing a guy like Canelo Alvarez that's so good
Mm-hmm.
right now, he's like it's hard to get to those RPMs without having the kind of fights that Canelo's had. Without having those 2 Triple G fights, without having that fight with Mayweather,
Yep.
without having the fight with Danny Jacobs, without having all the James Kirkland fight, all those fights where he built up to where he is now, high profile, where Caleb obviously is very skillful. He hasn't had those high profile
Right.
big fights. It's so hard to
And
just
the pressure
step in.
attached with
Yeah. Now watching him starch Billy Joe Saunders like that,
And Saunders is a good fighter.
he's a very good
Tough
fighter.
kid.
Undefeated, super tough, super slick.
Yep.
And to see him crack him like that, just the consequences of missing and getting countered by Canelo are so high.
Canelo sets traps from the first round. Mm-hmm. We did it to Amir Khan. I was at that fight, and Amir was looking great, but I was noticing that he kept whacking Amir to the body, and he was getting a red spot there. Mm-hmm. And eventually, you're going to want to defend that area because it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
And the minute you drop that hand, he set you up.
Yeah.
He set you up from the first round.
He's a monster. The fact that he knocked out Kovalev, like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Kovalev's a light heavyweight. I know Kovalev had seen better days by the time that fight came around, but the fact that he stopped him like that, just beat him up.
Kovalev was an interesting one because he was very dominant, and then all of a sudden, just fell apart after Andre Ward.
Booze, buddy. Booze did him in.
Who's?
A lot of things did him in, but apparently he likes to drink.
Oh, well, he's Russian, you know. They do like their vodka.
And also, Andre Ward crushed him, especially that second fight. In the first fight, arguably, he could have won that fight.
You know, it'd be nice if
Very
Ward
close
came
fight.
out of retirement to fight Canelo.
Well, they offered it to him after the Kovalev fight, and I admire Andre Ward greatly. I think he's one of the best examples of what a guy can do if he just decides, I'm done. He wins an Olympic gold medal. He wins 2 world titles in 2 different weight classes, retires undefeated, and did most of it with one arm.
Right.
Did most of it without having a right shoulder.
Eventually, the bank will catch up with you. The money will get right, and you'll come out.
You think so? You think he will?
There's the talk of Lennox fighting Mike.
Yeah, but Lennox is different than Andre,
I mean, Lennox is going to be 55 or 56 years old this year.
Yeah. Lennox is going to do it, apparently. I talked to him on the phone.
He was at my house last week.
Yeah?
We talked about it, but he said if he does it, he's going to go into a full fucking training camp.
Well, he needs a lot of time because he's not really
Oh, he's been dropping weight. He's been dropping weight. He's looking good.
Right, but he hasn't really been working out.
No, but Lennox is also a very mentally strong man.
Oh yeah.
He's got that thing.
Yeah. Well, he's fucking Lennox Lewis.
It's true. He
At the
is.
end of the day, if he's alive, he's still Lennox Lewis.
He's always throwing punches at me.
Is he?
He's always.
There's also today, there's pharmaceutical interventions. You know, you can
He's not that guy.
work around age.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
You know, when he's at the house, people are like, "How old are you?" And he's like, tells them his age. They're like, "What?
Black don't crack.
Black don't crack, brown don't frown."
Yeah. Well, he also retired with his wits about him too, you know? Plays a lot of chess.
Always played chess
Yeah.
and backgammon.
And he's good, right? He's good at chess,
Very
right? He's
good
like
at chess.
ranked, right?
He's very, very good, and a focus that I'll never have
For chess.
for anything he does. He's very competitive in that regard.
Do you have any game that you play?
I really wish I did.
Why don't you pick one up? You play jiu-jitsu. It's kind of a game.
It is. Jiu-jitsu's a fucking incredible game. I always tell people it's great for every part of your body.
Do you get into open classes?
Yeah, absolutely.
How often do you roll in with like strangers?
I'll roll with some guys I know first, and then after I warm up, then I'll roll with some strangers. You know, I'm always a little leery of strangers because I'm like, I don't want this guy to fucking.
Hey, a fucked up Russell Peters.
Yeah, so I start light with people because I'm like, I want to see where you're at. I want to see what kind of game you want to roll with
Right.
me, and then when they step, but I put the gas on when I have to put the gas on.
Yeah, some people love to fucking, if they know who you are, they love to attack.
Yeah. But you got to be prepared for that. I mean, if you're going to be in there,
Yeah.
there's no halfway about it.
Well, that's one good thing about the gis. You can kind of slow down a lot of shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like no-gi guys. It's like holding on to a slippery dolphin. Like, hey,
Yeah.
where are you going?
Yeah, the first 6 minutes you're okay, and then
Yeah.
once you start sweating, it's like trying to juggle a bar of soap.
How much no-gi do you do?
Not very much.
That's why you should go to Eddie's. Go and learn some of that stuff. It'll apply.
John Jack and I will do no-gi every now and then. On like hot days, I'll do it because I'm like, I don't want to wear the fucking gi. It's too hot.
Right.
So I go, no problem. And then he beats my ass with no-gi.
Is his gym open for the general public? Do you have to wear masks? What do you have to wear?
Oh, yeah, the city's been coming down on him.
Yeah?
Real bad. But I think hopefully, once everything opens up.
Yeah, maybe he'll have to just COVID test people.
Yeah, he does. He's doing the masks and COVID. And a lot of times it's just a lot of calisthenics and stuff they're doing in the gym.
If they can
sometimes.
drop the price of tests down very low, you could really eliminate a lot of the problems. You know?
It's unnecessarily expensive.
I don't know about that. I don't know what the process of developing a rapid antigen test is. Maybe it's not, but they are kind of expensive.
Do you pay the lady that does this one here?
No, she works for free. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of times people will do it just to, say
of course, yeah.
to build their resume.
No, I pay them. I've been testing people since
Day one.
April of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we locked down, we started testing the moment they got tests. The moment we could get tests.
You're always
Yeah.
at the forefront of things, though. So
Well, I realized that you have
you're
a
kind of the
responsibility.
benchmark. Yeah.
Got a responsibility to do that. And then, I also wanted to figure out what do I have to do to stay healthy. I don't want to get sick. And then as time went on, I kind of realized what you have to do in terms of health-wise. And, and I go pretty above and beyond in that department.
Well, you got to protect it.
Yeah.
You got to protect what you've got. I mean, this is not this is not a mom and pop business you're running here.
Well, it's not just that. I wanted to keep doing it, man. I know a lot of people that had real mental health problems because they didn't do shit this year. My comic friends that don't have podcasts or, there was a lot of people that I talked to like deep into July and August that hadn't seen a single fucking person the entire lockdown. They had done nothing but go to the grocery store and then go home. They hadn't done anything, and they suffered. That's a thing, man.
Especially comics, we're very we think too much.
Yeah, well, that's why we do what we do.
I think if you're not a thinker, it's probably a lot easier to get through life. You just kind of go with the flow and accept what people tell you.
I don't even know about that, man. I think
Critical thinkers really suffered last year.
I think so, but I think everybody suffered. I think it's fucking hard for people when the world gets weird, and you get nervous, you get anxiety.
Yep.
I
never really let it weigh my brain down because I had so many other problems going on. I was like, you know what? That's the last thing I need to fucking add into this mix.
Well, that's good. And you kept up with the vitamins and everything.
Yeah, the vitamins I've been on for many years now, and I really think that saved my ass a lot. high doses of vitamin D I was on for years, and I didn't realize the, I didn't know it was going to benefit me in the long run, but I'm glad it did.
Well, it's a big one for brown folks too.
Yeah.
You're not the darkest skin guy, but if you think about like people that are like dark black, it's a real issue, man, because it's hard to get that vitamin D just from the sun. The whole reason why they have that dark pigment is the body is protected from the sun, the sun's rays, but that makes it more difficult to get melanin. Whereas a guy like Canelo, which is hilarious that he's Mexican, he's the whitest fucking guy that's ever lived.
He's very Richie Cunningham.
It is hilarious, isn't it?
I like that he's learned English, though.
Oh, he's getting better. Yeah.
Did you see the post-fight with Boo Boo Andrade calling him out?
What is that about? You never fought anybody? When he said you didn't fight anybody?
Yeah, well, Canelo said to him he didn't fight anybody.
But he said to Canelo, who the fuck have you fought? He's like, who have I fought?
Yeah. You fought nobody. Get out.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
I mean, who can he fight, though, to make a name? Like, everybody wants that big name. They want to fight Canelo. But who can Andrade fight to get...
Well, everybody wants to get paid now. It's all about...
I know. But
everyone's really driven by the dollar nowadays.
But it's got to make sense, right? No one's calling for that fight other than him.
Right.
Who are you calling for?
He's the top of the food chain. That's what you want,
you got
right?
Caleb Plant. You got Triple G. Those are the only people that anybody's calling for.
And then he's
going to
have to move up if he wants to
Or Andre
continue.
Ward comes back.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to see that.
I don't think he's going to. I love the fact that he said, I'm a better servant of boxing if I can serve boxing better as a commentator and just being a representative of the sport. And also super articulate, has zero problems with his speech, no sign of brain damage at all. Everything's smooth, handsome, in shape, still fit, still works out.
He's gained a little, though. I noticed a little chubbiness on him.
Get the fuck out of here. You've seen his Instagram?
Not like fucking fat, but he's not
go to Andre,
not at walking weight and not at fight weight. You know
how dare you? Shut your mouth. Go to Andre Ward's Instagram and watch. There's some videos of him shadow boxing. Dude, he looks as crisp as ever. He looks smooth as fuck.
Did you hear that Tony is fighting?
This. Look at this. Where are you seeing fat? You shut your mouth. Your dirty, filthy mouth, Russell Peters. Come on. How the fuck could you say he looks fat?
When is this from?
Yesterday!
Yeah, right.
Dude, it's from like a week ago. I'm not bullshitting.
It said 10 weeks, but it's not that long.
It's a deep fake.
Come on, bro. That's him. Looking smooth as fuck.
No,
there's two of these. There's two of these
doesn't
videos.
go away. I'm just saying
What do you mean that doesn't go away? But he's thin, Russell. He looks good.
I mean,
There's
he's
another one. Look at this one.
He's not in my shape.
Shut your hole. Your dirty, stinking hole. Look at that. Come on, Russell.
He misses it. Look, you see when a fighter does all that, he's like, you can tell he misses it.
I'm sure he misses it, but he doesn't miss it to the point where he wants to come back. He said, "Them hands still work."
fighters that put videos on like this are trying to bait you into offer him a lot of money to do something.
Well, that is the most compelling fight for Canelo.
It'd be a great fight.
By far.
It would sell a fuckload of money.
But if you were Andre Ward, don't you think it would be wise to not go straight into Canelo Alvarez?
Yeah, he'd need one tune-up and he'd be back.
Who do you think he would fight?
Maybe Boo Boo Andrade.
Oh.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
If he lights him up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lights up a guy who's very active. And I'm saying it's interesting. A lot of interesting things out there.
Yeah, I'm not even familiar with Andrade.
James Toney's apparently fighting Shannon Briggs.
Is that true, though?
That's what I heard. I'm gonna call Shannon after.
This is what I've gotten from Shannon Briggs' Instagram because he's talking shit about James Toney virtually every day.
Listen, but that's Shannon.
Yeah. He's the best.
Shannon's got a good weed company going.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ.
Have you been on the road at all?
I've been on the road a lot.
When did you start?
I started taking dates late June last year.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then it picked up, then it died down, picked up, died down, according to the waves. But since January, I've been going pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, Florida, I did a lot of Florida work.
Really?
Atlanta.
Florida doesn't give a fuck.
Florida, I was like, their social distancing is 6 inches apart.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. But here's the thing is it's not affecting people. That's what's crazy. In terms of like the numbers. It's, I love it. I love the idea of giving people the opportunity to do whatever they want to do. We're not talking about the Black Plague, folks.
Yeah.
Let people do what they want to do.
I think
Florida lets people do what they want to do.
Yeah, let you make your own decision.
Yeah.
And you can't blame anybody. The problem is we've taken accountability away from everybody because everybody has the ability or the right to sue anybody they want.
Well, also, we've given these fucking crazy people this free license to scream at someone to put a mask on. There's this thing that people do even when you're outside. Like California, they love it. They love doing that in California.
I feel guilty when I'm eating and I have my mask off. I'm like, I want to hold the food up high so nobody. I don't want any altercations. I don't have to tell you to go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
is there any place that tells you to put a mask on in between bites of food?
I've heard that on some flights. I've heard if you're eating,
Yes.
lower your mask, eat, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking get crumbs and food all up in my fucking mask.
Well, the thing is about flights. Flights are relatively safe apparently because they have the HEPA filters. Like
Right.
The HEPA filters that they have on flights are.
And nobody's caught it from a flight.
Is that true?
I don't know that to be true. But
I don't know if that's true.
And if they have, it's
I think there was a lady that caught it. She thinks she caught it from a bathroom. But how the fuck do you know where you caught it from? Because you don't feel sick for a couple days, and then you're like, oh, the flight. I went in the bathroom. That's where I got it. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's based on the information they think they have.
yeah.
It's not based on anything. It's based on here's what seems like a good answer.
What have the crowds been like on the road?
Amazing.
Happy, right?
Happy. They're all happy to be out. And getting good responses in places I've gotten no response before. So.
Do you think you're getting ready to do a special?
No, I will. I will. I want to go on tour first and get that act right.
Get juicy.
Get nice and juicy, yeah.
Yeah.
Because this next one's going to be my 10th special. So.
10th special. Goddamn, Russell. Knuckles.
10th,
My man.
So
Out there slinging dick for over a decade.
yeah,
Woo!
so
That's awesome.
but I want to make sure this is a good special too. Like, it's got to matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I don't want to put the pressure on myself, but at the same time, you know what? I don't want to give them any fluff.
Right. Especially post-COVID. Right?
And you got guys like you and Dave and Donnell and everybody coming out with really solid fucking stuff now. And it's good for the game because it makes everybody think harder.
Well, there's a high level of comedy out right now for sure. And you're seeing it. I'm really impressed with the local Austin scene. Really impressed.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of these kids
I didn't
that
even
go
realize
up and kill Tony.
Yeah, I didn't realize how big the scene was out here.
It's big, and it's gotten a lot bigger since we moved here.
Yeah.
And they've opened up quite a few clubs. There's Creek in the Cave, which I'm there Wednesday and Thursday this week with Tony and Whitney and Joe List.
Is Whitney out here now?
No, she's thinking about moving out here, but she's just coming out here to visit. They have Sunset Strip Comedy Club. They have the Romo Room. They have Vulcan Gas Company. So that's just, and then they're gonna open up the new version of Cap City, which is gonna be in the Domain, and then I'm gonna open up my place.
Do you have a name for yours yet?
Nah, I can't tell you. I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a name, but I got plans, Russell.
I know, I like that.
It's complicated to get these plans off. It's interesting. Like, it's a lesson. I've never done this before, so it's a lesson.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You've worked in the clubs for so long, so you know what's wrong with them and what not to do.
Well, I also know what's right with them by working at the store.
Right.
And I want to emulate that environment, make it as comfortable as possible for the comics. And that's my main goal. Make it a fun place where comics can call home. So you got a home base. You got a place where you can go. You're going to be safe. You can go fuck around.
Yep.
We're going to use those
bags
for sure. Yeah. And going to have good food, nice staff. I want everybody to be treated well and paid well. I want everybody to feel good about working there.
Yeah.
And my goal is not to make any money. My goal is just to not lose any money. That's my goal.
That's a good goal.
That's all I want to do. I just want to make it nice.
Well, it's different when you come from this side of it.
Yeah.
You're not coming into it as a businessman. You're coming into it as a guy who cares about the art.
And a guy who's in a position where I can do something fun. I can actually make something happen. I really can do it, So I feel like I have to. I feel like I'm supposed to. It's like, I could just think about myself, but I really feel like I can do a service for the comedy community and help. I really do.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to
do.
do.
You're 33 years in the game too as well?
Yep.
Yep. So you got a year on me? Yeah.
Whoa.
Crazy times.
Yeah. It'll be 33 years in August.
Yeah. I'm 32 in November.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, it is
Imagine
wild.
when you started out thinking that you'd be doing it 32 years later.
I always thought I would. I just didn't know where I would be. I just figured I would be a road comic.
I felt like I would be a physical wreck 30 years later. I'd be like, oh my God, like what is it like to be a 53-year-old just broken?
I mean, I go back home. I go back to Canada and I'm like, wow. I see the guys that I came up with and they're still doing the same fucking act. And I'm like...
That's the problem with getting stuck in an island. You know, you get stuck in a little comedy island.
And it's not like their act is bad. It's a fantastic act and it's fully polished, but you gotta reach a little. You know what I mean?
You got to
It's-
get out there.
The game changed. It's not like you come up with your one act like it was in the 70s and 80s, and then that's what you're known for. You gotta continuously reinvent yourself.
Bro, I've seen guys from the 80s that are still doing the same act.
I know
In
it's
Boston,
wild.
Boston guys.
Yeah,
I've seen guys, and I'm like, oh my God, this is insanity.
it's still funny, but it's like
It's stale to them, though. Once it's stale to them, it's stale to everybody else, too. It's got to be fresh to you.
Yeah.
It's one of the best things about new materials that it's fresh to you.
well, I think that determines who you are as a comic. If you're the comic that cares about this a lot, you're going to continuously grow.
Yeah, and I think that applies to almost everything you're trying to do in life. You want to be challenged. You want things to be exciting. You want things that are like you have to really think and work hard at it. That way, when it comes out and it's done, you feel good.
Well, that separates career from job.
And passion
Yeah.
from occupation.
Because I think the guys that I saw growing up that are still doing the same act look at it as a job. It's the only way I'm going to make money.
There's guys like that are like tradesmen. They,
Yeah.
They could have been a plumber instead they became a comic.
Yeah, they just
You know?
they figured it out this, and then they're like, fuck, that's fine.
Price check, tampons, aisle 2, price check.
That's the worst when you hear about guys that you knew that had a lot of talent, and they're like, "What are you doing now?" I'm like, I'm driving fucking Uber, and you're like, "Oh boy."
Yeah. It's hard out there, bro. It's hard, but
We're the
Better-
lucky ones, We're the lucky ones.
better than being cabeza de vaca eating dogs
Well,
and
you know,
deer
less than-
shit, making your way across the country on
The
foot.
old deer shit omelet.
Imagine, if you would.
How'd they get chickens?
How did they get
Where'd they get
chickens?
chickens? Where do these chickens come from?
Domestic chickens?
Yeah.
That's a good question. They probably came over on boats, right? Let's ask this question.
Yeah.
Where did domestic chickens come from?
Their origin.
Right? Because I've seen wild chickens in Mexico. You ever seen those? Yeah, they go
For the
like,
cockfights, or
No, just like wild chickens. It's like a type of chicken. Like if you go to Puerto Vallarta, I was staying at a resort and these birds are running around. I'm like, what is that? They're like, it's a type of wild chicken. I was like, what?
Are they edible?
I forget what they call it.
I mean, if obviously they're edible.
Most birds are edible.
Yeah.
Most animals are edible. That's the thing. Most plants are not edible. Chickens were likely first domesticated about 5,400 years ago in Southeast Asia, although archaeological evidence of wild chickens goes back even further to a 12,000-year-old site in northern China. Once domesticated, though, chickens were brought westward to Europe and east-southeast into Oceania. What's Oceania?
Oceania. That's probably goes back to Pangea, maybe? I don't know.
I was reading about my people. They found
Which ones?
Neanderthals. They found evidence that a bunch of Neanderthals have been killed by hyenas in a cave in Italy.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, that's for sure. That's where my DNA comes from.
You're a hyena caveman.
Well, eaten by hyenas, man, that's a rough way to go, man.
Yeah.
Hyenas would eat you in a horrible way.
They're not the most friendly
Yeah,
animals.
they'd probably break your ankle so you
From
can't run.
They're from the dog family, wouldn't they be? Are they canines to a
Imagine. By eating them, hyenas gathered 9 Neanderthal skeletons in one cave. The Neanderthals appear to have met a very bad end. So they just dragged them into the cave. Ugh. Archaeologists in Italy recently unearthed the remains of at least 9 Neanderthals in Guattari Cave near the, how do you say that?
Turanian
Tyrrhenian
Sea.
About 100 kilograms southeast of Rome. While excavating a previously unexplored section of the cave, archaeologists from the Archaeological Superintendency of Latina and the University of Tor Vergata recently unearthed broken skulls, jawbones, teeth, and pieces of several other bones, which they say represent at least 9 Neanderthals. That brings the cave's total to at least 10. Anthropologist Alberto Carlo Blanc found a Neanderthal skull in another chamber in 1939. Oh, wow. So they've been finding them there forever. Italy was a very different place 60,000 years ago. Hyenas, along with other Pleistocene carnivores, stalked rhinoceroses, wild horses, and extinct wild bovine called
Aurochs.
and people. What?
Yeah, those
hyenas were eating
didn't play.
people, those fucks. Wow. Neanderthals were prey to these animals. Hyenas hunted them, especially the most vulnerable, like sick or elderly individuals. Wow, that's rough.
No, hyenas are like the diesel coyotes.
They're just fucking nasty animals, man. They're just nasty. They're
Yeah.
evil.
And they're very mean looking.
But just the yelling and the laughing, like where'd
Yeah.
that come from? You imagine that's the shit you hear when you have a broken ankle. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to get away,
Yep.
and you're and they're all circling you,
they get excited. and
snapping
that's
at you.
That's their happy noise, you know?
Yeah, it's funny how like animals that are creepy look creepy, like vultures. Vultures are creepy.
And they got bad posture.
But they just look like they are, you know, like dead animal eating cunts with fucking red, disgusting necks.
Don't like the bottom feeders.
Have you ever seen Tibetan Sky Funeral? You ever seen that?
What's that?
Bro, it's rough. It's a ritual that they do in Tibet where they feed their dead to vultures. And the idea is that there's no reason to waste someone's body by putting it in the ground. You're better serving earth and nature and life by feeding it to the vultures. So they would take these people's bodies and they cut them open and even break open the bones and slice all the meat and then leave them out there for the vultures. And there's really graphic images of these
And still
Tibetan
still
sky
happens?
funerals. Yeah, they're recent photographs.
That's not the way I want to go.
Not the way you want to go, or not
I mean,
what you want them to do with your body.
Yeah, I don't know if I want that done to me after I'm dead.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, what's the
I
point
understand the
of rotting and being eaten by bacteria? But here's why we're assholes. We don't even let bacteria eat people. We fucking embalm them with this disgusting, toxic shit. So here it is, sky burial. Tradition becomes controversial tourist attraction. So people are filming it, which is very odd. It was the monk of the car that we saw. So these people are just sitting around. So this is,
boy.
yeah. Do they have any actual photographs?
Not really. You can't really tell what they're eating.
So
to be
he's
honest with you.
flying. Yeah. So they.
I mean, at least you're getting swarmed and not picked at by one. You know what I mean? It's
Well, they're accustomed to it. That's what's going on. It's like these birds have kind of been trained to do it. This is just a video. They're probably not going to show you too much in this video, but there's plenty of photographs where you can watch all of it and watch how they do it. And I don't think they'd allow you to show it on YouTube. YouTube would want you to be vague about it.
This makes they're bringing back Faces of Death.
really.
Which I thought was real.
That's the regular
Turns out
internet.
it was not real though. The original Faces of Death was all fake.
All
well,
of it.
some
There's
of it
another
was
thing.
some of it
Some
was
of it was
real.
very
Like
disturbing.
there's another thing called Traces of Death that kind of got mixed in. I was sort of looking into this because I thought I'd seen real Faces of Death in my past.
I had the VHSs of it back in the day.
Some of it I think for sure was fake, but there was a video that I saw where they tied this guy's legs to one bumper and they tied his arms to another bumper, and that one was real
Yeah.
as fuck because that guy was screaming and they pulled him apart.
But yeah, they're rebooting it for today for some
Yeah?
reason. I don't know. They're gonna make. I don't know.
the remake.
like more fake footage, or if they're gonna. Hollywood's doing it, so like it was like it made it
Hollywood's
like in
doing it.
Variety.com said like reboot of Faces of Death
Hollywood's
for
doing it.
2022.
Good old Hollywood.
Good old Hollywood.
They love a good reboot.
What does that mean though when they say like Hollywood's
Well,
doing it?
like a official studio.
Why would they do that? I guess maybe they realize civilization has crashed so hard. Fuck it. Let's just go all out.
They figure we're numb.
Yeah.
Then we're numb to it already.
When I was joking around about Fear Factor back in the day, I used to say that we're like 3 seasons away from The Running Man. And we kind of are, right? Faces of Death reboot.
Didn't they bring back Fear Factor for a minute?
Ludacris?
That's right.
Ludacris hosted it. Yeah. It's, it wasn't real Fear Factor though. They kind of like, like you're gonna lose your cell phone. Oh my god. You know what I mean? Like, what's the fear? It was low budget. Like, to do Fear Factor correctly, you gotta. The reality is, like, the last season they went way too far. They risked people's lives, I think.
The season you were on.
Yeah, they got lucky. I really believe that. I mean, not the season, but the very last season when we came back for one short amount of episodes. We did like 6 episodes. That one was risky. Like, they were doing some wild shit. Like,
Were you into that?
no, I didn't enjoy it. The
No.
last season, I was like, we're going so far with these. I was nervous that someone was going to get
Who's
like
coming up with the
legitimately hurt.
ideas? Like there's
Producers.
not writers, not
Well, I mean, creative folks.
yeah.
Yeah.
But kind of warped creative folk do you have to be?
heavily warped.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of stunt guys, and stunt guys are, you know, they're some risk-taking motherfuckers.
Oh, they're nutty.
They have a different perception of like risk and reward.
A lot of stunt guys in jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A fuckload of them.
A
Those
lot.
are the guys I don't like rolling with because I'm like, they know things we don't know.
Well, they're also like accustomed to getting injured. They have a very high tolerance for pain. You know, my friend Tate did a lot of stunt. You remember Tate Fletcher?
Yeah.
He did a lot of stunt work, and he's done a lot of acting too. You know, he was. I watch John Wick a lot. That's like one of the things I like to watch when I work out.
Which one?
Number one.
One's the good one.
The original one.
Yeah.
2 is pretty good. But
3 put me to sleep.
3 was not as good as 2 or 1, but it's still good. I still enjoyed it. I like Halle Berry, so I was a fan.
Yeah, I watched 3 in a movie theater in South Africa when I was on tour.
Oh yeah.
And I fell asleep to the sound of the guns.
Maybe you're just really tired.
I may have been, but I woke up when the guns stopped for a second.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, and then pop, 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 and I went right back to sleep.
3 didn't have any muscle cars either. That was disappointing. But Tate gets shot in John Wick in the scene when they went to the Red Circle bar.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets shot.
Wasn't he
in
an
a lot of
MMA
movies.
fighter at one point?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He fought in the Ultimate Fighter.
That's
like
right.
Season, I don't remember what season. Season of Michael Bisping won.
Yes.
But he was doing some stunt work and he suffered a really bad head injury.
Really?
Like, yeah, really bad, and it fucked him up for over a year. Like
How did
real
he get
bad. I do not know. It was a stunt, and during the stunt, he hit his head really badly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, I think I heard the story. I think it was they had already done it once, and he kind of got away with it. And they were like, "We want to do another one." And even he was like, "I don't really want to do another one." And I think they made him do a second take, and that's how he hurt himself. If I am quoting this correctly.
I do not know, but I know, you know, people fucking die doing movies, man.
Yeah.
You know, it happens.
Remember when they did the Twilight Zone movie? Remember the helicopter accident?
Yeah, that was horrific.
That was really bad.
That was horrific. Yeah, that video was horrific.
Yeah, and then Bruce Lee's son.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yep.
How the fuck did that happen?
Well, they had a blank, and the blank had some sort of particle that was in the cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it was blank, there was a piece of something that shot out of the gun and hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they changed where you're allowed to shoot somebody in movies with blanks. Now, when you aim at someone with a blank, you have to like aim slightly off to the side. You don't actually aim at them anymore.
Right. Yeah, especially with, point of view shots. You can
Yeah.
make
Dude,
it.
just a blank alone can kill you. There was a guy that I was friends with back in the day who was an actor, and one of his buddies was on the set, and he had a blank gun, and he thought it'd be fun to take the gun and put it to his head and
Right.
pull the trigger, and it killed him. Just the force of air coming out of the gun killed him.
Yeah, that'll do it to you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure coming at you. Airbags will kill you.
Do they?
Yeah, if they hit you. I remember getting in a car accident once, and the airbag deployed on the steering wheel, and I don't know how I avoided getting hurt, but it hit my finger, and my finger went black. It was like, it fucking hit hard. It was numb.
That's why they say little kids shouldn't sit up front.
Right.
Yeah, because you get walloped by that fucking airbag.
Yeah. I do think if you face the kid backwards in the front seat, it'd probably be good too, Push the front seat back, put the car seat in backwards. They should be okay.
I don't know. I don't think you're even supposed to do that.
No, you're not allowed to. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up in the
No seatbelt era.
no seatbelt era, and I remember
Drum brakes.
Oh yeah. My dad had a '77 Hornet, AMC
Oh.
Hornet, orange one, and driving home from my aunt's house, I'd be like tired, and I'd be like, "Dad, can I sit in the?" Because it was a station wagon. Mm-hmm. I'm going to lay down in the back. We used to call it the back. There was the
Yeah.
back, and then there was the back. And he didn't give a fuck if you're taking turns, you're rolling around. Dunk, 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 dunk.
Yeah, you could just do things with kids back then. You could tie them to the roof.
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Yeah, nobody gave a shit.
Sitting in the back of a pickup truck was no big deal.
There was no rules.
There was no rules. And
Yeah, you didn't even have to have a seatbelt on back then. And then they eventually came up with baby seats and
Yep.
a bunch of other. What did they do before? They probably put like a stroller, just shoved that stroller in the back seat. The kid just was
No,
stuck
you
in
would
there.
sit on your mom's lap, and she would hold you.
Oh.
I remember sitting on my mom's lap and driving.
But the people that made it through those eras, they were hardier folk.
We're a hardy bunch, us.
Yeah. And the vaccinations left scars. Remember you get that polio vaccine?
Oh yeah, that's how. And then there was
Scar on your
the
shoulder?
immigrant scar too. That's how people knew you were immigrant. They go, yeah, I got my scar.
What was that from?
from whatever vaccination they got when they came to the new land.
Was it polio? Wasn't it polio?
It may have been a polio shot. Whatever it was, you would see people our age that would have like this little circle. It looked like a burn mark almost on their arm.
Remember how? I mean, not that we remember, but it was so easy when my grandparents came over here. You just have to make
Where'd
it
your
over
grandparents
here.
come from?
Italy.
Right.
Most of them from Italy, and my grandfather on my father's side from Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
But they just had to get over here.
Yeah, that was
And
it.
you're
That
in.
was the trick.
Yeah, get over here and you're in.
Yeah, I was watching that documentary on one of my flights recently about the Chinese Exclusion Act. Have you seen that documentary?
What's that?
There was this whole act in the they were showing about like the first Chinese guy that came to America, and I think it was in the 1700s he came over, and then he proved to be a good worker, and eventually by the 1800s there was like 60,000 Chinese people, and then for some reason America had a problem with them, and they had this Exclusion Act too. They'd even allowed black people to be free and black people to vote, but the Chinese were considered less than human.
What?
according
What
to
year is this?
This was in the 1800s.
So this when
1882, yeah.
is this when they were working on the railroads a lot?
Yeah, then they let them come in and work on the railroad, but they wouldn't allow them to become citizens.
Bro, you ever see photos of Chinese people working on the railroads? They're some of the bleakest photos.
And they all had their hair back, like their foreheads were huge for some reason, the way they would pull their hair back.
They probably didn't want their hair to get stuck on the fucking tracks.
Yeah, that sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, imagine train comes by and catches you by the hair.
Oh, yeah. They used them pretty badly.
It's a horrific story. It's
Yeah.
but the photos. I was watching that Hulu docu-series Sasquatch, and it was talking a lot about the people that they use to make the railroads and to mine, and the people that use to cut down the trees up in the Pacific Northwest and up in Northern California.
Yeah, it was the
And there's these photos that they showed of these Chinese folks that were working on those railroads, and it's so depressing, man.
yeah, they were treated like shit.
And there's just no hope. You're not getting out of that. There's no upward mobility. There's
Nothing.
no future.
Yeah, there's
No promise. Yeah.
and then they weren't allowing them to become U.S. citizens, even if they were born here.
You know what's crazy? Even today, like in Harvard, it's more difficult for Asian people to get in than anybody else.
Really?
Yeah, there's a
didn't
lawsuit
know that.
about it right now. Yeah. Apparently, they have so many Asian folks that were getting into Harvard that they decided to specifically tailor their tests to make it more difficult, or their requirements, or See, I don't want to fuck this up because Andrew Yang's people were the ones who were talking to me about it. One of the guys who came last time when Andrew Yang was here.
Nice guy, that Andrew Yang.
He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
I hope he runs again.
Well, he's going to run for mayor
Of
of New York City. He's running right now.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
good.
him and this other gentleman who was, I forget what he did, but this other guy carries a fucking gun. And he's talking about, like, ramping up police presence. And he's a black guy. And a lot of people are behind him. And they think, like, this is what we need to turn the city around. Like, they need to respect law and order.
Right.
And they need to do something about the fucking crime. There was a shooting spree in Times Square the other
Yeah,
day where
they-
a 4-year-old got
oh, yeah,
shot.
woman and her daughter.
It's
or
crazy,
child, yeah.
man. So here it is.
Yeah, America's
Appeals court rules Harvard doesn't discriminate against Asian American applicants. Oh, okay. So this is a federal appeals court in Boston has ruled Harvard doesn't intentionally discriminate against Asian American applicants. So what was the argument? Because there was a lot of Asian people that were insisting that was the case. Said the statistical evidence did not show that Harvard intentionally discriminated against Asian Americans. Students for Fair Admissions, an advocacy group, first filed its lawsuit in 2014, saying that Harvard's race-based considerations for applicants discriminated against Asian American students in process. Today's decision once again finds that Harvard's admission policies were consistent with Supreme Court precedent and lawfully and appropriately pursue Harvard's efforts to create a diverse campus that promotes learning and encourages mutual respect and understanding in our community. It's like, what is the argument, though?
I think-
Proponents for ending race-based considerations at U.S. universities were unfazed by Thursday's decision and plan to bring the case to the Supreme Court. So what does it say? What is the question? Okay, the question of how much race should be a factor in college applications is a hotly contested one. President Trump's administration has challenged college on using race in admission policies, claiming such practices violate federal law. Last month, the Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against Yale University, saying its policies violate the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Yale has said the lawsuit is baseless. What is school's admissions rules, though? That's what I'm confused with.
Well, so does that mean external Chinese people
Scroll
or Chinese
down.
Americans?
I think, I just think it's just Asian. Period. Well, when they do race, they don't say
Well, 'cause
we only
I've-
want African Americans.
I mean, I'm Asian. You
Right.
Know what I mean? And,
Right.
So, I mean,
Right.
it's vague.
Right.
But, I mean, I can
But
understand.
you're Canadian. You're Canadian. It cancels everything out.
It's true. It's true.
What is the race-based admission policy, though, that makes them say that they discriminated? Does it say? See if you can find. Oh, look, they've tried a pop-up ad, you motherfuckers. See if you can find what the argument is that Harvard does discriminate against Asians. But these guys that were with Andrew Yang, they believed pretty strongly that that's what Harvard was doing.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of those admissions tests that are racially biased according to how you grew up and what you know, you
Right.
know. So I think what they tried to do is make it the person who wrote the test or whatever wrote it from their perspective.
We need to fix society so that you never have to think about that shit at all, you know? Oh, here it goes. In the lawsuit, plaintiffs claim that Harvard imposes a soft racial quota which keeps the number of Asian Americans artificially low. The low percentage of Asians admitted to Harvard, plaintiffs maintain, was suspiciously similar year after year despite dramatic increases in the number of Asian American applicants and the size of the Asian American population. During the lawsuit, the plaintiffs gained access to Harvard's individualized admission files from 2014 to 19 and aggregate data from 2000 to 2019. The plaintiffs also interviewed and deposed numerous Harvard officials. From those sources, the plaintiffs revealed that Harvard admissions officers consistently rated Asian American applicants as a group lower than others on traits like positive personality, likability, courage,
Wow.
kindness, and being widely respected. What the fuck? Just think about what that says. They rate you on positive personality, likability, courage, kindness, and being widely respected. Those are so vague.
Well, I mean, you know, different nationalities have different personalities. You know, different races have different ways of dealing with things.
Look at-
and what may be considered offensive to one is not to the other, you know, or
Look at its-
likable to me is not likable to you.
For sure. But look at it says here. Asian Americans scored higher than applicants of any other racial or ethnic group on other admissions measures like test scores, grades, and extracurricular activities. But the students' personal rating significantly dragged down their admissions chances. Wow, that's weird, man. I mean, I guess you'd have to talk to someone from Harvard and get them drunk and say, what's really going on? Why do you have this likability, courage, kindness, and being wildly respected? And what is a positive personality? You have to be positive. What if you're like, God damn it, I suck, but you work really hard? Like, that's a negative personality, but
Yeah.
you know, like maybe you have a negative opinion of yourself, but you work really hard.
Maybe that's why you work hard, because you don't think of yourself very.
It's weird, man. Harvard's admissions staff testified they did not believe that different racial groups have better personal qualities than others, but nevertheless, Asian applicants as a racial group received consistently weaker personal scores over the period surveyed, and Harvard admissions officers rated Asian Americans with the worst personal qualities of any racial group.
Wow.
African Americans, on the other hand, consistently scored the lowest on academic rating, but the highest on the personal rating. Man, but you know what? Personal rating, that like makes me think about like that whole the Chinese social score system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I know about that.
I don't like that.
That's a very weird thing.
Because remember what we were talking about earlier about being woke, right?
Right.
Now, things that you and I think are completely acceptable, like you seeing a black lady with a Chinese guy in the audience and immediately going, wow, Look at you breaking boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of shit that you would do.
Yeah.
That's not racist. It's racial.
Yeah.
You're making humor that brings everybody together and gets everybody to laugh at the differences that we have. But if someone didn't know you, they would look at you and say, oh, he's racist.
Yes.
And what he's doing is racist comedy.
Right.
And this is what people like to do today.
Yeah.
Right? So you would get
Well,
a
they don't
lower...
know the difference between racial and racist anymore.
They don't know what the difference is. They don't know what talking shit is, which is why Shane Gillis got kicked off Saturday Night Live.
Right.
He's not a racist. He's talking shit. When you talk shit, especially when comics get together and talk shit, we say silly things. We don't mean it. You know, we say silly things about ourselves, about our moms, about our family, about everything. It doesn't mean we're racists. Like,
Yeah.
this is why it's so confusing. People are looking to quote mine, or they're looking to, like, find, especially with someone like me who's done a podcast for thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. You can find some dumb shit in there.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
want to pretend that that's me, well, that's on you, because that's you're playing a little game there.
Well, it says more about them than it says about you.
But it's also an effective game if people aren't paying attention, because a lot of people don't want to listen. They
People
don't have
aren't
the
paying
time.
attention.
So if they look at a short snippet, or they take things out of context, they can just decide, oh, Russell Peters is a piece of shit. Instead of how I know you, you're a lovely guy. You're fun. You're a great guy to hang out with.
You know, I lost my words. Carry on.
But I was just saying, this social score thing that they're doing in China is dangerous, because what it does is it makes you follow this trend. It makes you keep along with whatever is acceptable currently, and you lose your ability to think outside the lines or express yourself in any controversial way, because you'll lose social score.
The problem is that people have forgotten how to react naturally anymore, so they wait to be told how to frame things.
Right.
You know, so your immediate reaction to certain things may be your genuine being, and then somebody will go, "Oh no, that's not right because blah blah blah," and then you go, "Oh yeah, you're right. I'm wrong."
Exactly.
And you're like, "No, you're not wrong. You were behaving like a human being that you are."
Right.
And you processed it the way you were supposed to process it, but because it doesn't fit to this person's ideology, then now you're wrong.
Yeah.
And so people are afraid to be natural. They're waiting to be told how to behave now.
Yes.
Is this okay? Am I allowed to do that? And I'm like, why wouldn't you be? You've lost your free will.
They're scared to be ostracized. You know?
Yeah.
That's a big thing today. You're scared to be on the out group. You know, and sometimes it makes people say completely irrational things, and they hope that by saying these irrational things, they're going to be accepted. It's fucking weird, man. It's weird. It's a weird time. It's like one of the weirdest times we've ever had in terms of communication, because it takes real courage to actually speak your mind, especially if you're on social media, because you will get attacked.
You'll get attacked regardless.
Whether you're right or wrong.
Say the most positive thing, and you get attacked.
Someone will find a reason why you're a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because that's just how they viewed you to begin with.
Exactly.
What about doing a show? I was thinking about this. This has completely nothing to do with anything, but where everybody did mushrooms before the show, and the audience is all on mushrooms.
It's a good idea.
So
But you have to regulate the dose.
Well, no. I
You
mean,
have to get a psychological examination of the people that are involved. So, because if someone has borderline schizophrenia,
right,
and then you trip them over the deep end,
right.
because we know people that have gone, right? You and I both know people that have taken pot edibles, and maybe Joey Diaz has done that to a few people in their day, and they break. Or mushrooms can do the same thing. Some people are psychologically fragile.
True.
And
we're living in a world of it.
And maybe some of them through no fault of their own. They have a weird chemical composition, and their brain doesn't work that good.
Yeah, I think a dosage amount that you give them, and then you put on the newer comics at the beginning while the trip's setting in.
Right.
And then you get to your headliners, and by the time they get you and Dave or something get on, and the audience is right at the right place for everybody.
Yeah, but the thing is, everybody's right place is a different thing. It's some people are dealing with demons, and then that mushroom hits them, and the mushroom is like, "You're an asshole to your mother." No! Some people are dealing with demons. Some people you bullied your brother when you were growing up.
Yeah.
I did.
I
did.
Yeah.
Fuck. How can I fix it?
It's whatever was subconsciously or repressing, I guess.
Yeah, man. I do think that there's some real benefit in psychedelics for people, and I've harped on that so many times that I avoid saying it because I've said it too much.
You've said it a lot. You've got me involved in that world now.
Look at this shirt.
I know.
Tell me about your shirt.
That's Red Light Holland. That's the company I'm working with.
You're working with a mushroom company.
I'm working with a mushroom company. We're the truffle company.
So, how
We're
illegal
legal.
is that stuff on a 1 to 10?
Well, here's the problem. So, we're illegal in Holland, and the problem is I haven't been able to get out to Holland to try the product, and I can't try it in North America because it's illegal here.
But it's not illegal in Portland. Portland has legalized basically everything, including
right?
Antifa.
Yeah, they've QAnon everything. Give it to them. They want it all.
Yeah, you can threaten the mayor.
Yeah,
You could burn the fucking courthouse.
Yeah.
They're wild up there.
So that's what I brought it up to the whole team. I was like, why aren't we in Portland? And they're like, well, we got to get. It's more than just getting approved in Portland. You got to get the whole FDA involved, and everything is.
This is the biggest, the biggest door opening, the biggest change in our society will be when they legalize psychedelics, because it will dissolve so many of our preconceived notions about what government is, what life is, what civilization is, what community is, what love is, what insecurity is. There's so much of what we see every day when you're dealing with people that is based on insecurity and fear. And one of the best methods for alleviating insecurity and fear are psychedelics.
And it could definitely help. We have a huge mental illness problem in this country that I really feel that this stuff could really help.
I think microdosing is the way for a lot of
that's
folks.
what it's for. Yeah, this is a
Yeah.
microdosing company. So
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be great for all the vets and all the people. I mean, not saying
Sure.
we should, pump it to the homeless people, but a lot of the homeless people have their own issues that they're dealing with, and it might straighten them out. It may not. We don't know. But
Well, you know that MAPS is doing some work with psychedelics and veterans with PTSD, with using MDMA, using ecstasy essentially, pure, and they've got really some really promising results, and they continue to work on that. And I think that's amazing that they're doing that, and that they've gotten these studies funded and they've gone through, and they hold real promise. And so I will hope that eventually we come to our senses and we recognize that there's a lot of things out there that can help people. And the thing is that these are human issues. Like it's not that clear. It's like you can't, they don't work on everybody because everybody's different. And it's not going to be perfect with everybody. So everybody's different. So if we do have things that are beneficial to a certain percentage of the population, they're not going to be beneficial to everybody. And some people are going to have real problems with them. When we have to accept that is a part of being a person. And that there's the same thing with alcohol. I think alcohol should be legal, but some people are alcoholics. Some people can't drink at all. Like you and I just had a drink, and we're fine.
We're fine.
But some people cannot do that, and they go off the deep end.
I have some friends like that.
Yeah.
We both do.
We both do.
And I can't comprehend it because I don't have an addictive nature. So
yeah,
for me, it's like, well, why can't you just have the one or just not have any then? And they're like, you don't understand. It calls me, and I'm like, I don't understand.
Man, it's genes. That's a lot of it. There's a lot of it is genes. I have friends that are alcoholics, and their whole family's alcoholics, and I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it because I can have a drink and not drink for I do sober October every year. I don't drink for a whole month. And it's not.
I want to get in on it this year.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
let's do it, Russell. It's only a few months away.
Let's do it.
Was it 5 months away? What are we at? We're in May.
We're in May,
June,
yeah.
July, August, September, October.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that hard. It's fun. And the good thing is you do other things. Like usually we have some sort of a challenge that we do, or you'll work out every day or something like that. Like that's what I did last time. I worked out every day. It's nice. It's
look at Tom and Bert. I mean, look at Tom's in great shape now. You seen him lately?
Well, once he broke his arm and fucking blew
his whole
knee
fucking
out.
body.
Yeah.
He
He moved here today.
Did he come here today?
Today's moving day. Yeah.
Oh wow! I'm
he
supposed
sent me
to
a
do
text
his
message today.
I'm supposed to do his podcast soon.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have a studio out here now, son.
Oh shit!
Woo!
I told you, Joe the Pied Piper Rogan.
When are you moving here?
For me, I got bigger
Kids.
problems. I got 2 kids, 2 baby mamas. I got, if I ever want to see my kids again, I can't leave.
I get it. You got to talk those bitches into moving here.
Yeah, right.
No disrespect with the word bitches.
No, you were right. You're not wrong, Joe.
You want another cigar? Is that where you grab that?
I do, but a short story because I gotta you flight soon.
You don't have to finish it.
Nah, I hate wasting cigars. Drives me nuts.
Bring it with you.
What's that short story? Take a short story from there.
Oh.
The middle ones. This is a nice long smoke.
Yeah, there you go.
It's actually really good smoke, by the way.
Yeah, they're great.
Thank you.
Shout out to Foundation Cigar Company. Here.
Thinking about doing a cigar collaboration.
Look at you. You're a fucking businessman now.
I got to do
You're
stuff.
selling
dude.
mushrooms.
You're selling mushrooms.
What else are you gonna sell? Guns? You got alcohol, tobacco, and firearms?
I got no guns yet. No, I'm not a gun guy. I know that's your world. It freaks me out. Guns freak me out.
Guns freak you out?
Yeah, guns.
What freaks you out about them? The bang bang part?
No, I don't like having that much power in my hands.
So how do you feel when you hold your dick?
That's the kind of power I can control. I feel like He-Man.
You feel dangerous though?
I feel dangerous with
dangerous. Yeah, I know what you're saying. But
I also understand my triggers as far as temper goes, and I don't think I'm the guy to have a gun.
You got a bad temper?
Uh,
I've never seen you lose your temper once. I've known you forever.
No, I mean, you get in those places sometimes, like and in those moments, I go, I'm so fucking glad I don't have a gun.
Because you've dated some questionable women. Is that what it is? Is that what you're saying?
Well, my woman now doesn't even get me there at all, so it's wonderful.
Ah.
I'm in a very peaceful place in my life. I gotta keep saying I got a fantastic. I've never been this fucking happy with a woman in my life.
That's beautiful. You got lucky.
I really
You can
did.
do that, man. You can get lucky in this life. I got lucky.
Yeah,
You
your
get
one's
lucky.
great.
She's a beautiful person. Not just pretty. She's so nice.
She really is a sweetheart.
That's-
Always.
Yeah, she's changed me, man. I mean, not that I was ever mean, but I was meaner. And I just didn't know that people could be that nice all the time. When it's the quality of the humans that are around you, man, they change who you are.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. It changes everything. It's like whether it's your friends or family members or even people that you work with, coworkers. You know,
There's a pilot light in us, and the wrong person can blow out your pilot light.
yes, that's a good way of putting it.
That's what happened to me last year. My pilot light got blown out,
Yeah,
and I got dark.
yeah, it can happen with everything, man. Like literally with everything in your life. You know,
Yeah.
across the board, you just positivity is so important, and also people that have like-minded values and goals where they just want to improve and they want to do well, and people that want to be happy. That's the other thing. Some people just don't want to be happy. They're not looking to be happy.
I think I'm an innately happy person.
You are. You're always happy.
And I had a lot of bad shit happen to me when I was a kid, but I didn't take it.
What's the worst shit that happened to you?
Just a lot of bad bullying when I was a kid. Like bad. Like not not just like sticks and stone stuff. Like, physical, just and from strangers, adults.
Adults bullied you?
Yeah, in the 70s in Canada, especially where I was living, to be an Indian kid was a rough place to be. You're very low on the totem pole there. And you're expendable to them, so that you don't equal anything. So when I hear about things, I'm like, yeah, I know what it actually looks and feels like, but I didn't harbor that to make me this bitter person where, I fucking hate white people. You know what I mean? I was like, I understood even at that small age, and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure this will turn around. You know what I mean? And it did. I got lucky. I kept the right outlook. I didn't demonize an entire bunch of people. I understood that there's this way, there's a process in life, and this is the way it's going to work out for me.
Yeah, it's horrible to see people getting attacked for just some shit they have zero control over at all.
Yeah, that's what was happening, and I'm talking from like 4 years old, 4 till I was about 15. It was bad, and those are very formative years for a human.
Do you think that that's what made you a comic?
That's definitely what made my comedy the way it is. Why I'm so kind of not obsessed with, but why I'm constantly talking about race and culture and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to tie us all together as
Yeah.
opposed to 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 the average looker, onlooker, it's going to look like I'm separating people, but really I'm not.
Right.
I think where we're heading right now, we've ended up in a place now where we went from a melting pot to separation again.
I think it's going to come back. I really do.
It has to.
I really do. I think there's plenty of people like you and me that think that we could pull it all together. We just have to agree upon it. You know, like what Chappelle was saying, like this kindness conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
We got to kind of agree upon that.
We really do.
We really do. And it can be done. It really can. It's not that hard. It doesn't cost any money. Everybody can participate. We could all do better because of it. It's something it's right for everybody. When you see someone who's got a fucking KKK outfit on or something like that's a sad person. That's sad. They're looking to belong. They're looking to be a part.
They want to be part of
group.
something.
They're sad.
And they really don't know anything about anything else. And so they really don't know anything about anything. And now they're learning about something, but it's the wrong thing.
Right. They found a tribe, but it's a shit tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them come out of it. I think there's a high recovery rate from that, I think.
You know who Christian Piccolini is?
No.
He's a guy who was he was in like a white power group and then came out of it and now helps people get out of those hate groups.
Yeah.
And does
especially with
lot of
it's
work
such an
online.
Italian name.
I know, right?
Such a weird thing to do.
I don't know his story exactly. I heard him on a podcast before, but there's it's like Daryl Davis. Daryl Davis.
That the black guy that helps him?
Yes, he's a gentleman that was on my podcast. He's a brilliant blues musician, and he has personally himself converted over 200 people to quit the KKK
I've seen
and
him. I saw
neo-Nazi
that.
organizations.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and came on the podcast and explained how it all happened, that he was on the road and he was in a club doing music, and he sat down with this guy, and the guy was like, I never had a drink with a black guy before. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what? And he goes, yeah, I'm in the Klan. And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he became this guy's friend.
Huh.
And just said, hey, next time I'm in town, look me up. And they hung out together. They had dinner together. A couple months later, the guy handed him his outfit. Like, he's a fucking Grand Dragon or whatever it is.
Wow.
And he said, I can't do this anymore. He's like, I realize, like, I'm wrong. I've been told this. I lived by this, and it's wrong. And now I know because of you. And Daryl has done that with more than 200 people now.
He's a big dude too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a sweetheart of a guy and a great musician. And that's what he started out as. He's not like this guy is like, I'm going to be an activist.
Yeah.
Just this real sweet, open-minded guy, but also very intelligent and very articulate. And when you're talking to the guy, you can't pretend he's not smart.
Right.
So like for a lot of these guys, they're like, shit. Like when you're talking to someone who you've decided or it's been taught to you that they're an inferior, and then you're talking to him and you realize, like, this guy's brilliant. He's making sense. He's calm. He's reasonable. I'm wrong.
Yeah. It's I think that's anything in life. Somebody's coming at you one way, you're gonna have to come at them another way.
Yeah.
Like, two angry people aren't gonna. I think that's what happened in America last year with the whole election.
Right.
Both sides were so extreme.
I think
one
you're right.
hated, they both hated. It was both full of hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why you're not gonna, because people's back get up against the wall, and they want to be wrong and strong at that point.
Wrong and strong.
The old wrong and strong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a challenging time, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to pull out of it. I think we're going to pull out of it. I do.
I mean, we have to.
Yeah, we have to.
It's just it's not a realistic
We
look
can
at life.
Yeah, we can pull it through. We can. We
We
pull
came
it
this
off.
far.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
We came this far, and then we stopped, and we moved backwards a little bit. No,
Yeah.
It's a stall.
But this is the way it works with progress. Like, progress comes in hills and valleys, and I think our next hill will be higher than the hill that we previously ascended. I think that's totally a possible scenario. Or we can descend into madness, and China can take over.
China and the Russians.
That's possible too, man. I mean, if China is controlling China, just stop and think of that. Like, oh, that's not possible. Is China controlling China? Yeah, well, China is in control of 1 billion people.
1.4.
Yeah,
Or is it 1.5?
whatever it is, 1 billion, and tack on another 300,000. It's not that big of an accomplishment,
I think it's
you know.
that's 300 million, isn't it? The 1.3, the 5, 1.5 is 500 million, isn't it?
Yes, if they really have 1.5, is that what they? How many people are in China?
1.4 or 1.5.
Let's find out.
India has 1.3.
Do they really?
Yeah. India and China make up what is it? More than half the Earth's population or something?
1.4.
Or a good third of it?
So China has more than 1 billion people more than the United States, and they're in control of those people.
Yeah.
They got it locked down.
Yeah. They're on top of it.
For them to tack on, it's kind of amazing that America is like the thought leader and the global superpower when we have only 300 and what do we have? 330? What's America have? What'd you guess? Take a guess.
I figured it was around 300 and something million.
Keeps growing for whatever reason.
Oh, I didn't know we're number 3 behind China and India.
Really?
Population wise?
Yeah,
What do we have?
it's a huge drop off.
What do we have?
331.
331. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Come on, India. Or come in, India.
Jesus Christ.
It's a major drop off.
Yeah, 2 billion.
If Pakistan had
billion
stayed with
for
India,
China.
we would have the largest population in the world
Wow.
because they got 220 million.
That's a big drop off too. Pakistan to India. That's
Well, I
kinda
mean, because
crazy.
it was all one place at one point, so we could have 1.6 billion people or something.
So what
1.7
happened?
billion. I don't really understand the politics behind it. I know the British had something to do with
Who
it.
fucked up? British? They fucked up a lot of things.
They did that. They kind of did their thing and then bounced on
They
everybody.
fucked up a lot of things, didn't they?
Yeah.
They used to run shit. How many people are in England? Pull that up.
The UK,
Yeah.
67.8.
That ain't shit.
Yeah.
That's fucking California.
And how many of them are non?
They used to run everything. Italy, 60 million.
It's not bad.
Tanzania, just Tanzania. Whoa, what
Sorry, I
happened?
was breaking down the UK. It's multiple countries.
Wow. South Korea, make dope phones, only 51 million people. Kind of wild, man. You keep going down the line. Did you see this thing where there was a gigantic data leak? Like 150 million iPhones got hacked, and they didn't tell anybody about it. They decided to keep it to themselves.
Didn't Snowden mention why that happened?
I don't know.
He said something about why the iPhone is not the ideal phone for it's the ideal phone for hackers.
Really?
That's what they said because it's only like one code you have to figure
Oh,
out,
right.
and then the Androids have so many different systems running in them.
Yes.
It's harder to hack them.
In that respect, yeah. But the iPhone is a little bit more secure, and it's harder to get things into the app store. Because there was a thing with Android phones recently. I have both, and I use iPhone more often, but I do like Androids too. They have there's some positive qualities, but one of the things that they did was they had an app in the Google Play Store, I guess, or I don't know, maybe you had to get it from a third party, but the app would update your operating system kind of automatically, but it didn't really. What it did is just it hacked into your phone.
Yeah.
And like sent all your data to someone like credit card information or what
Yeah.
have you. I don't know what it sent, but so
I
there's
I don't understand the Android operating system, but they do have some cool fucking phones.
the Galaxy S21 Ultra. I have that one. It's the shit.
You know what I want? I want that Motorola Flip. I saw a dude with it, and they brought the Razor back as the shit looked cool as fuck.
You know what's cool? Hanging up on people. Snap.
Yeah.
Cook out.
Yeah, it's like the old school one. Fuck
Yeah.
that motherfucker.
Snap.
Now you're
Close that
searching and
motherfucker.
slapping your screen, and
Yeah, my friend Gordon has the one that opens up like a tablet.
yeah, that one's really cool too.
Looks pretty dope.
It's dope because there's no line.
Yeah. It's pretty sick because as a regular phone, it's just a chunky regular phone,
Yeah.
and it's kind of thin, so you could text with one hand pretty good,
Yep.
especially if you have smaller hands.
Yeah.
And then when you open it up, I mean, you basically have a small iPad.
Yep.
So if you want to watch like YouTube videos or some shit or browse,
Yep.
and it's 5G.
There's all these little fake phones showing up on the internet. Like, what do you think of this? And it was some cool drop-down phone that had Apple iOS on it, and there's some apparently there's some Android phone out there that can use Apple iOS on it. And,
Really?
yeah.
I wouldn't trust that motherfucker.
No, but that does seem like a cool option to have.
Apple's done an amazing job of locking down that ecosystem. They did such an amazing job. I mean, they locked it down. If you don't want that green bubble, you have to go through Apple.
Yeah.
But
The green bubble is annoying to me.
it's it could be an issue. And then if you send video, it comes in super low resolution. That's annoying.
On the green bubble?
Yeah, if you have an Android phone and you try to send someone
I
a
hate
big
that
ass
shit.
video,
It's annoying.
yeah, you don't get that iMessage thing.
No.
It's not.
You don't get the confirmation. You don't know what quality they got. You got to go, do you have WhatsApp? Can I send it to you on WhatsApp?
Ugh.
Yeah.
WhatsApp, the fuck out of here with that. Yeah, and you have to send it SMS. Like pictures are lower resolution, but videos are a real problem. And
Yeah.
you can't airdrop.
No, I like airdropping.
Airdrop is
Big
the
fan
shit.
of airdropping.
It's the shit.
Yeah.
Just that alone. That kind of integration, and for me, as a guy who always takes notes on his phone, that's big because I want ideas for bits.
Yep.
I want to be able to pull up my notes that I write on my laptop, and I want them to go straight to my phone.
Yep. Same and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it.
I'm a big fan of the airdrop.
They got us locked in, though,
And then they take everything away and
Yeah.
then make you buy it separately.
and they're using Chinese slave labor.
Son of a...
I don't see the iPhone hack info story, but as you were saying that,
2015.
okay, I didn't miss the old part.
Yeah, it was a leak from 2015. They had hacked
Was that-
into, and that it was a recent story that Apple had decided not to share the information. So 150 million phones were potentially compromised, and they decided not to share the information.
It's just coming out probably because of that trial they're involved with, I think.
See, the apps, when they first started coming out, they were coming up with some really cool ideas. There was one app you could get.
Here it is. Biggest iPhone hack ever. Fortnite trial exposes emails detailing the Xcode Ghost malware. Okay, because Epic Games and Apple's in the middle of a giant trial right now because I think Apple wants a piece. So like if you have if you have Fortnite on your phone, Apple gets like 30% or some shit. And so there's like some thing where Fortnite decided to not have their thing on the App Store because they want all the money. Am I fucking that up?
You're pretty accurate. Yeah.
All right, so here it is. In case it slipped people's memory, in 2015, hackers successfully crept in a potentially dangerous Xcode Ghost malware to thousands of iPhone and iPad apps. Apple, during that time, has been privy to the details of the attack. To add, the company, on their part, said that they notified hundreds of millions of victims. Researchers also estimate that about 4,000 apps are infected. What does that mean, though? On their part, but what I heard was that they didn't notify people. Google, Apple, whatever that malware is, and then Google, Apple chose not to. Xcode Ghost, Apple chose not to. What would be the word? Alert.
Inform.
Yeah, inform. Apple chose not to inform. I can't see it.
So it was an app you would get, and then it would... So
Yeah.
I'm not an app guy, so I'm okay.
Is the Epic Games shut? There it goes. Apple did not inform victims about the attack. There it is. Apple kept mum. Go to the first one. Hack read. Apple News. There it is. And this is on Apple News. Whoops. No, it's Apple News. It is Apple News. March 20. Report. It must be noted that Xcode is Apple's app development tool. Back then, it was reported that Apple stopped the attack quickly. However, according to a new report, emails presented during the Epic Games versus Apple court proceedings have revealed startling new details. Here it is on the particular attack. It turns out that nearly 128 million iOS users downloaded the apps containing the Xcode Ghost malware. Reportedly, Apple kept this malware attack a secret and didn't share the impact's full details. That's what I'd read.
I thought you were getting into the thing that happened like this week, where
What happened?
Some pipeline.
Oh, I was going
was
to get to
hacked,
that too.
and, like, people are there's a gas shortage in multiple states right now.
Yeah, there's a real issue with gas apparently.
Really?
That sounds way worse.
Well,
than
we have
some
electric
iPhones going
cars.
down. Hey.
Hey, Tesla.
What do you remember? There was this one app. I don't know if you know about this. It was for single guys, and you would put on your phone, and if you were out at a club, you would give the girl your phone to put her number in, and while she was typing in her number, would take pictures of her so you would know what the girl looked like.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not just take a picture of her?
Well, because you had
Are
a
you
club.
shy?
Yeah, whatever. You didn't want to be like, you want to
wanna
make
be
it look like
rude?
you're going to remember her, but he would be like, as she's putting it in, it's taking pictures of her face, so you knew exactly.
For just
who the
lazy dudes who are scared to ask for a picture?
Yeah.
Like,
This
if you're
was-
going to get someone's photograph or
maybe
get
about-
someone's phone number, you
I think
can't
about
get-
10 years ago this app was around.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. If you're going to get someone's photograph, shouldn't you be able to get a picture of them?
Yeah, get their number. You should be
Yeah.
like, hey, can we take a picture? Like,
It's a big deal.
or they'll be like, hey, text me. All right, here, put your number, and then click, click, click.
People today, it's so weird with the dating apps and all the shit that people are doing today. It's like the world is such a different place. Like, as communication is becoming more frivolous and like easier to just like talk shit to people, it's also probably easier to hook up with people.
Oh yeah.
Like kids today on these dating apps, just swiping left and swiping right.
Yeah. A lot of people are meeting their mate that way.
Interesting.
I don't know that you want to meet your mate that way.
Why not? She's the
mean-
perfect girl. What do you give a fuck? You're trying to meet girls that way, selfish asshole. How about that? How about he wants to meet people that way? He doesn't want them to meet him that way. Huh.
Not me.
But what if you're out there looking?
I was never an app guy for that. I would rather
No.
just meet people in person.
You're actually a famous comedian. I don't know if you know about that.
Never heard about it.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier for you to meet people.
True.
But if you're a guy who's working all day and you really don't have time to go out there and mingle, but you have like shared attributes, like there's something about, your likes and dislikes and the things you're interested in,
I mean,
shared interests.
that depends on what app you're on. And there's the hookup apps
Right.
that are strictly for that.
What are the hookup apps?
I think they're like, your basic, your Tinders, your Bumbles.
Let'sfuck.com. I don't
Pretty
think
much.
Bumble is that. I think Bumble is
Wasn't
like
Bumble more hookup than Tinder?
It's got other. You can find a BFF on there, and there's also like a business Bumble where you can like find people to work with. I think is what
so
that's
BFF
for.
is you looking for friends on
Friend
Bumble.
people to hang out with instead of like.
I am working on an app.
Are you?
I'm working with this kid. I came
real?
up with it. I said it as a joke, and he goes, "That'd be a really good app." And so
You don't want to say what it is? Keep it mum. You don't want anybody stealing it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know where we're at with it. I don't know if it's
Don't
locked
say
down
anything.
yet. Yeah.
Don't say anything. Does that have to do with mushrooms?
No, it does not. It's a hook. Not a hookup app. It's a
Don't say it.
it's a romance app.
Keep it together. Romance. Look at you. Romantic.
Trying to.
Yeah.
But it started off as a joke, and then he's like, "It's a really good idea." It's a young kid. He's really smart.
If people meet and they get along, who gives a fuck how they meet?
True.
Whether it's an app or choking each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Choke.com.
You meet some girl in jiu-jitsu and she gets you in a triangle and you're like, she's my new favorite.
Yeah.
She's my bestie.
You let her get you in triangle.
Yeah. Do you think you could date a girl and kick your ass?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Really?
I don't have an ego about that.
Look at you. Have you dated some Brazilian lady who just fucking ragdolls you, arm bars you all the time?
Not dated, but
She gets mad at you.
I've met some.
But would you? But like, I mean,
Yeah, why not?
if you were a single fella, I
Yeah,
know
why
you're happy
not?
right now. But what if you weren't?
I like empowered women. I dig that though.
There's empowered, and there's also a girl who can kill you with her bare hands. I'm not
Yeah.
interested in that.
I mean, she's not going to.
Maybe she will.
Then she's equally as dangerous as you are. You know
Maybe
what I
you
mean?
change your opinion about guns.
Wait a minute.
If you're living with some gal.
this bitch has a black belt. I need a gun. You tough enough to stop a bullet?
Could you imagine if you're living with a girl who'll fuck you up? That would be annoying. You know? Do you
You
think
gonna
you
do
could
an
live with a
argument?
girl stronger than you? If you're like, could you just open this pickle jar, please? You'd look away.
Well, you don't want her to be physically stronger than
No?
you just want her to be more talented than you are in that world.
Like a talented fighter, but you want to be physically stronger.
Yeah,
You
I think
you
it's.
could date a power lifter?
I don't think it wouldn't be my speed.
No?
That's not my. I like him a little bit more feminine.
What if she's really feminine but strong as fuck?
Hey man, then that's what it is. That's what you got. That's what you got. That's what you got.
Yeah, you never know until you meet him, right?
Yeah.
You might meet her and you're
You know, I
like,
never thought without saying too much, but I've connected with some
yeah, I get
ladies
it.
in the MMA world, and
Oh, really?
And
Interesting.
at the end of the day, they're just women. They just want to be treated like women.
Yeah, most of them. Some of them don't. Some of them want to beat your ass. They
Yeah.
want to leg kick you.
Yeah.
Knee
That's
you in the
definitely what
balls.
I don't want. That's why I want my legs taken out of me.
I know. I mean, if you were dating a competitive fighter, male or female, like the stress of that job is so fucking different than like. There's like cop, firefighter, like there's soldier, cop, firefighter, MMA fighter.
Right.
Right? I would imagine like that's the kind of like what that's kind of the hierarchy of like stressful jobs. Like insanely intensely is like soldier is probably the highest stress.
Yes.
And then cop is, a lot of times you're
Right there with it.
Yeah. Firefighter, you could die in a fight.
Yep.
And then MMA fighter, like, every X amount of months, you have this insane fucking thing that you do where you get in a cage, you put a mouthpiece on, and you try to knock someone unconscious.
I teach my girl little jiu-jitsu moves, and she tries to do them to me every now and then. And I'm like, hey, stop that shit.
Hey.
Yeah. I'll be on top of her, and she'll be like, hey, is this... And she put me, frame me up.
Ezekiel.
Yeah, a little Ezekiel, and I'm like... and then I'll be like, no, you don't have it. I keep fucking up by telling you don't have it, and then she keeps working it, and I'm like, there it is.
You ever see that guy, Alexei Olenek, who lets guys mount him, and he Ezekiels them from the bottom?
Oh, no.
You never seen him?
No.
I think he's tapped out. Well, at least one guy in the UFC. I think it's been more than one. But he's got this
He
crazy
Ezekiels you
move.
from the top position?
From the bottom.
From the bottom.
From the bottom. It's madness. He just has this. He's basically doing a rear naked choke from the front. What you're on top of him, but he doesn't have any leg control. He's not squeezing you with his body. He just has this nasty constriction, and he lets guys mount. So like what happens is like he's like making it like he's got his arm wrapped around you. And he's making his like he's stopping the mount, and you think that you're passing and you're mounting him. And right as you do that, you're thinking about mounting him, and he fucking slides it in. Watch this. Watch how he does this. So he's got a hold of it
wow.
right here. But right now he's just kind of protecting him, and he lets the guy mount him, and then boom, he sinks
you
it
see
in.
it locking in there. Oh.
Yeah, look how he does it. As soon as he sinks it in, you're fucked, man. You're fucked because it's so tight, and he's got his arm like deep in the pocket of the bicep,
Wow.
just like a rear naked choke. Madness, right? Look at him.
That's
look how,
wild.
Look how sad that
guy,
dude
he
is. He's so sad.
Wow.
He's so sad.
He
It's
was
like,
about to go
fuck.
to sleep. That's why.
Yeah, he has to get you, dude. It's over. You tapped. He's like, I can't. What happened?
Where's he from?
Russia, bro.
yeah.
Hard people. So show that again.
Is it a Sambo move that he's doing? Is it
Well, it's Ezekiel's just a standard submission move,
right.
but to do
That
it
is
like this
wild.
is crazy. But go for the transition because it's like. So this is what happens. Like you're in side control and you
Right.
think you're doing okay, right? And he just kind of holds his head, but then as soon as the guy mounts, then he slides it in front of his face.
Oh yeah.
He's
so
like,
he
"Oh,
tucks
you
it under.
fucked up, son.
He tucks it
I
under.
wanted you to do that." Yeah, and he gets it in perfect. I don't
you
know
tried
anybody
it?
else. No, I have not. I've done it from the top, but I don't know anybody else who's done that like that, especially in not only in an MMA fight but also with gloves. Have you ever tried grappling with gloves on?
It's awful, right?
It's hard.
Yeah. I'm really impressed when they lock on guys with gloves on.
Oh, that's right. He did it on this guy too. So
Standing
this
up?
guy
No,
takes him
pulls him
down.
down.
This guy takes him down. Same thing. Look, he doesn't have it in here. He allows you to mount, and then as you mount, he slides it in. Oh no, he's in half guard here. He got it from half guard, but the same thing.
And they all have the same look on
Fuck.
their face. They all
I
have the
know,
same
like,
look on their face.
It's such a sneaky move. But Olenek has that crazy grappler.
What weight
strength.
is he?
Heavyweight.
That
Yeah,
Mark Hunt?
Yeah, he fought Mark Hunt. I think he got Mark Hunt in an armbar or something. I think that's it. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's getting a title shot soon?
No, he's lost to a lot of guys. But he's got to be a top 15 heavyweight. What's Olenek ranked? I would imagine he's ranked like 11, 12, somewhere in that range. He's older. He's in his 40s.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably not going to get a title shot,
That sucks.
but he's a tough guy.
Yeah.
How old is he? He's got like 60 plus MMA fights too.
Jesus Christ.
Does it say how old he is? Oh, his ranking. He's ranked 15. Yeah. See, I know my shit. I'm a professional. Believe it or not.
I do miss UFC without you. When you're not commentating?
Well, good news. This weekend I'll be there.
Who's fighting this weekend?
Well, we have the lightweight championship of the world, Charles Oliveira versus
yes.
Michael Chandler. Pull up the card so you can see the whole card. He's 43. Only Nick. Oliveira versus Chandler. I'm a little upset at Michael Chandler's six-pack. Makes me feel like a fat fuck. Let's take a look at the fight card there. And Oliveira's a beast. That's a great fight.
Yeah, that's a good
Tony
fight.
Ferguson versus Beneil Dariush. I love it. Caitlin Chukagian versus Viviana Araujo. Shane Burgos versus Edson Barboza. That's a fucking
Edson
barn
Barboza,
burner.
wow.
At 145. He's featherweight now. Whoa! Matt Schnell, Rogerio Botorin. And who else is in the prelims?
Oh,
Jacare, Andre Munoz. That's on
That's
ESPN.
the free fight, yeah.
Lando Venata, Groovy Lando, and Mike Grundy.
Is she related to the other
Yes.
Shevchenko?
Yeah,
sister?
Antonina, is her sister. Andrea KGB Lee, another Russian. Jordan Wright, Jamie Pickett.
You see that Michael Page knockout the other day?
Dude, Michael Page is a beast. He's so good. He's an interesting cat because he came from the point fighting background.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got such a crazy style that hands down, wide stance, leaps in. You know, really.
He's the one that got kicked out of the UFC?
No. He was never in the UFC. Michael Page lost to Douglas Lima for the title in Bellator as a welterweight, and he's elite. He's really good, man. He's really fucking good. Really talented.
Dana never tried to recruit him.
Well, he was over in Bellator already, and they treat him well. Look, it's good that there's good fighters over there, man. I think it's really good. I think it's important. I think we need more competition, whether it's PFL or one championship.
Yep.
It's real good to have a lot of different organizations.
I like
with
one. I like one a lot.
They're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have grappling now too. You know what's interesting about one? They have Muay Thai with little gloves, like John Wayne Parr just fought Nicky Holtzkin in a Muay Thai bout in a cage, and now they're going to do grappling. Yeah.
Just submission grappling?
Just submission grappling. Yeah, they signed Gordon Ryan to fight Shinya Aoki.
Ooh, Gordon Ryan. Wow.
Yeah, so he's over there doing a grappling
That's
matchup.
Henzo's guy, right, Gordon?
Yes. Well, John Danaher. John Danaher comes from Henzo, and John Danaher is the main coach of Gordon Ryan. And Gordon Ryan's literally the greatest grappler of all time.
Yes.
It's kind of it's a showcase more than anything because Shinya Aoki is also much smaller. I mean, it's a mismatch in every way. It's a mismatch physically in size. Gordon's way bigger. It's a mismatch talent-wise.
Are they not doing it by weight?
This fight is not. This
It's like an open.
I think what it is
open
nobody
fight?
wants to get fucked up by Gordon. But
Right.
at least if you're if you're a lighter guy, you can say, hey, you know, I took a chance. He had me by 50 pounds.
Yep, and I'm
you know?
going to try my speed on him.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck doing anything to Gordon. He's a fucking gigantic, amazing grappler
He's
who
from New York?
trains every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from New Jersey, but they live in Puerto Rico now.
Seems to be the place.
Well, they couldn't do any grappling in New York City, man. They shut down grappling in New York City.
That's
and
right.
So they had to figure out what to do. They had a lot of competitions they had to train for, and they were getting shut down. Like people were coming to the basement where Henzo's place is and fucking with them, and so someone that they know that's their friend in New York City or in Puerto Rico rather offered their place to them, and so they packed up their shit and they moved to Puerto Rico.
Danaher moved there too, right?
Yep, they all did. The whole squad. Gary Tonin, Craig Jones, they all moved down there. Nicky Rodriguez. I'm hoping they move to Texas. They're talking about doing that.
That'd be good.
That would be the shit. I'll help them. I'll fucking throw up the bat signal. Let's go.
Yeah, you're the guy. You should run for mayor here eventually.
No. I don't want to be a mayor. I don't want to be any kind of politician. So if you're thinking about it, no. Not interested. I'm not interested. You feel me?
I feel
Russell?
you, kid.
We should get you out of here so you can catch your flight.
I gotta go get your flight.
You got to fly back. Got a lot of shit going on in California.
I do. I gotta do my engagement photos tomorrow.
Woo! You excited?
I am actually.
You're already wearing a wedding ring.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that is when I gave her an engagement ring, she said, you've given 4 other bitches an engagement ring before me, and you never followed through.
Ooh, she said
She was
that.
like,
You
she
were
was
a little
like,
too honest.
She said, I don't give a fuck, you know me. She said, you know what? You've been engaged to women have been engaged to you, but you've never been engaged to them. Oh. Show me something. So she bought me a ring. She was like, I'm wearing this, you're wearing this. Like, that sounds fair. I like it.
That's a good move.
And I really like wearing it, to be honest with you.
See, sometimes, I mean, just because you went through some ones that didn't work out, I think this one's going to work out. I like all the words coming out of your mouth, Russell Peters.
You know, Joseph, I'm happy for you out here.
Thanks, brother.
You seem spry and happy and relaxed, and it makes me happy.
Thanks. I'm happy. Everything's good.
Glad Jamie's out here.
Look at Jamie.
Jamie looks miserable as fuck, but he's happy.
That's not true.
Just kidding.
He looks happy. Listen, brother, I miss you. I love you. It's always great to see you.
Thanks.
I miss seeing you around the store.
Can I promo my podcast again?
Yeah.
That's Culturally Canceled with Russell Peters.
Culturally canceled?
Culturally Canceled. That's what I called it.
Okay.
It's on iHeartRadio.
Okay. And YouTube as well? Do you have a YouTube?
I believe there's a YouTube format of it.
Is it a video or is it just audio right now?
You see how you have really good cameras set up?
Yeah.
I have an iPhone.
That's fine. That's how Lex Friedman does his. It looks great. When you look at it on YouTube, it looks just as good.
Yeah, it's fine.
When he came here and we did one, he did it just with iPhones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, with phones is no problem, man.
Yeah.
The phones today are very good, right? I mean, you could film a fucking movie with a phone today.
Yeah, we're good with that. I mean, we'll step it up eventually accordingly.
Hey, man, go back and look at episode 1 of this fucking stupid show.
I remember. When did it start? 2010, right?
29.
29. So I started doing it in 2010. In December of 2010 was the first one I did.
Wow.
In your house.
Wow. Remember those days?
Yeah. Right.
You hear my kids screaming in the background?
No, they were babies then.
Yeah, but every
your
now and then
babies are the same age as my baby.
They'd stub a toe and scream, and you'd hear in the background. We were on couches.
And your wife was so
there
sweet.
It is.
And
the Feel Good podcast. Look at you,
look at
with the
that fat
fucking hat. Look at you. You look like a fucking...
You know Nick Turturro, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, my God. You know what's funny about that? When we're doing this, he's smoking a cigar, and he's so passionate. He's talking, and he's lighting the cigar right by the mic, and the mic caught fire.
Oh, no. How's he doing, man? I haven't seen that guy in forever.
He's doing great.
Fantastic actor.
Amazing actor. And that's his cousin-in-law, Gabe.
White Claw Gabe?
White
Does he
Claw
love
Gabe.
the White Claws?
He loves the White Claws. He's autistic, and but he's fucking hilarious. He's a sweetheart of a man, that Gabe. Love that guy.
Beautiful. So that's available. The Feel Good episode.
Yeah, we called it the Feel Good episode.
And that's your Russell Peters channel.
That's the Russell. Is it on the Russell Peters channel?
Yes, it is.
Good.
Yes, it is. All right, my brother. Let's wrap this bitch up. Bring it home. Thank you.
Thanks, Joseph.
Great to see you, my friend. Always.
You too, Jamie. Good to see you, pal.
Goodbye, everybody.